Hello, everybody. Welcome to Speedrun Ragnarok. My name is Pandaragon Dave, and I am here with SableDragonRook, and we're about to give you a show of The Last Guardian Any Percent. We still have an open goal for this one to watch some story cutscenes. You do have some time to donate towards it, but let's see it so we can get more of that Trico. And Sable, it is off to you.
All right. Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. I'm Sable. You can call me SableDragonRook, or you can call me Sable. Either one is fine. And this is Last Guardian. Timing is going to start when I hit to start the new game here, so I'll give you a countdown. We will go ahead in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So hello, everybody. Hope you're having a good day so far. Good day, good night, wherever it is, whatever it is where you are. So we're starting off as this little boy. You know, we're in this cave with this giant feathery creature. And he's got some spears in him, so first order of business. We're going to be taking those spears out. And our big feathery friend, who we will call Trico, is not necessarily a super fan of that, you know? He's not feeling too good. So why we're in this cave, what's happening, you know, who this giant Trico is, we don't really know right now. And if you want to find out, you should donate to the story cutscenes incentive, because we will be playing the important cutscenes if we fulfill that before a little bit later in the run, so you still have a little bit of time. Personally, I think the cutscenes are one of the strongest points of this game. So I am kind of biased, but I would encourage trying to get those cutscenes to play. So in the meantime, as this little boy, you know, we're stuck in this cave with this giant feathery thing. Is he a dog, cat, bird? Who knows? And what we can tell so far is that he's grumpy. And in order to get him to be less grumpy, we gotta give him some barrels. These barrels are his food source. Again, what's in them is kind of probably a story cutscene kind of thing. But they're his little snacks. And so we've got to give him some snacks before he'll warm up to us. He's got a chain around his neck right now. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I like to think it tastes like blue Gatorade. It probably doesn't. Buddy, are you gonna eat that, dude? You got places to be, my friend. And that is kind of the essence of this run. Me looking at Trico and saying, hey buddy, you gonna do something? He is an AI, and you know, for all the marvelous work that they did to make him what I would consider very responsive and very intelligent, he is still an AI, and that adds, you know, a little bit of unique flavor to this run.
Did anybody tell Trico it's a speedrun? Actually, I got a donation for you. Are you ready? Are you excited?
Oh yeah! Let's make it happen.
All right, we got $100 from Sporadic Erratic. Last Guardian story cutscenes. Let's go! More Trico, please.
Nice. Thank you. That almost closed the gap just by itself, I think.
Halfway there. Like Scala said, 145 more to make it happen.
The poor Trico. You know, he wasn't feeling great. He's got that chain around his neck. I took it off before the cutscene so that he would be free to move now. even though that's not really when the game wants you to do it. So you might notice very briefly, in the half a second that I allowed the camera to look at Trico, that he had some armor on. He had a little helmet, he had a little suit of armor along his body. He's gonna stand back there and try to shake that off while I'm over here doing this. I essentially never get this skip. Most of us don't, but we need something to do until Trico joins us anyway, so might as well stand here and try. All I'm trying to do is hop up onto this ledge without Trico's help. But it's no big deal. It's kind of assumed that you don't get that, so. Trico has finally realized, hey, maybe this little kid isn't so bad. He gave me nom-noms, I think I'll be his friend. And so now, we're two stalwart friends on an intrepid adventure. Trico will probably, occasionally maybe, listen to the things that I say. And now we just, we gotta work around that and go as fast as we can. Now you'll see that I do a lot of resets. There are a couple reasons. The first is kind of as you just saw, sometimes the distance between the checkpoint and where you can reset to trigger that checkpoint is pretty large, and so you end up teleporting, like what I just did. It moves me forward, it's faster to reset than it is to actually just walk that distance. So now we've got the mirror. For a couple sections of the game, this mirror will be extremely important. It's probably some piece of ancient tech. We'll take it out to Trico, see what he thinks about it. But yeah, I just picked it up off the ground and I was like, huh, this thing seems kind of cool, I'm gonna take it with me. Which I suppose is reasonable, you know, if you're trapped in a cave somewhere and you find a glowing thing on the ground, that's probably good, right? So I'm not really sure, you know, if Trico is scared or, you know, nervous or happy or what, but he had some sort of reaction to that mirror. It's definitely something that caught his attention as soon as he saw it. And it gives us the ability to point at things, which doesn't seem so important until you realize that pointing at things makes Trico do a thing. So in addition to being everybody's favorite feathery dog, cat, bird, beast, if you point the mirror at things, Trico can shoot lightning bolts out of his tail because, you know, of course he can. One day, somebody in the development studio was just like, but what if butt lasers? And everybody was like, yeah, what if butt lasers? And here we are.
That was the greatest single sentence I've ever heard.
So that was essentially the other reason that we reset. Trico was like way behind me. He was going to take a long time to walk to where I am currently. He's also kind of being a weirdo right now. So I checkpoint reset so that he would be right behind me. The boy and Trico each have their own, like, mapping for where they're supposed to end up at each checkpoint. And so just like I can teleport myself using checkpoint resets, I can teleport Trico as well. And that way I don't have to wait for him. Sometimes that will be used to, you know, move him close to me. Sometimes that'll be used to calm him down if he's angry or upset, so that I don't have to calm him down in the normal way. A little bit of trolley RNG there on that, how that plank decided to stay in the door. So Trico doesn't really like water. I'm gonna lure him into the water by chucking this barrel. Because if there's one thing I can sympathize with, it's that I'd do just about anything for a snack. What would you do for a Klondike bar, right?
I think me and Trico
So
have
he's
a
back
lot
there
in common.
trying to... For sure. Like, he's super motivated by food. So he's gonna be staying back there and trying to get that barrel out of the water. I threw it in a place where he can't get it very easily, so that I could encourage him to stay and, you know, let me walk all over him. May gently be able to hear my dog in the background. He is currently tangled into the drapes because he's carrying his bed around, like dragging it back and forth across the floor. And he's currently in the drapes, so sorry.
Very excited about Trico. Wants to be friends.
So here we have our first introduction to this gigantic white tower. We're inside a kind of spooky looking valley that's encroaching on all sides with a giant, like, wall. It's difficult to explain. It looks basically like a mug. We're inside of a coffee mug with walls on each side. And this white tower is in the center. As the little boy, we don't know why we're here. We don't know how we got here or how to get out. But Trico seems super interested in the White Tower. So the little boy is like, you know what? If Trico wants to go there, I guess that's going to be my goal too. Maybe Trico knows something I don't. So we are now, you know, basically turning our focus for the rest of the game to getting to that White Tower and getting to the top. We're trying to get out of this valley vertically. I had a mini heart attack just there because that was a very close jump. So I'm going to be trying to sort of moderate where Trico is behind me through some very specific calls. I mean, he's, you know, hopping along these rocks trying to follow me. He's breaking everything. Things are falling down. But I want him to be a little bit further behind me than he could be. I want him to lag a little bit. Because if he stays too close, he's going to be a little bit too close to solve this puzzle in the most ideal way. I'm not calling him anymore, because like I said, I want him to lag. He's going to be walking across that pillar that I just knocked down to follow me, because now I'm his buddy and he's obsessed with me. And if he walks all the way across it before I'm ready, I'll have to wait for him to turn around a couple times and come back. If I can catch him before he walks across it, you know, he'll just be ready to jump right away. Hey dude, hold it. Good job.
Stay.
That's how I talk for the entire run. It's just, it keeps me sane dealing with our fuzzy, furry animal friend here. So he did a good job. He didn't come too far, and so we didn't have to wait for him to back up or turn around or do any of that. So for right now, Trico trusts me-ish. You know, I gave him some barrels. He's kind of okay with me. He doesn't think I'm gonna hurt him. But he doesn't fully trust me yet, so the best I can do is just call, "Hey Trico," and hope that he follows me. Later on, I will actually be able to tell him what to do. Or rather, I should say, I can suggest to him what to do. So for now, the best I can do is, just call him and try to get him to look at me such that his body is in the right spot. And so once again, checkpoint reset. He's wonderful, isn't he? His sound design. Like, he sounds so real. I wish that we had more time to spend just like looking at him and, watching his reactions to things. Because he's very nuanced. And in fact, for those who have an interest in speedrunning this game, watching Trico, understanding his body language, how he holds his ears, what he's looking at, what his feet are doing, all of that is important to understanding how to make him do things. Because this run is essentially, get Trico to do the things fast. So, looking at his ears, for example, can tell me he understood me, he didn't understand me, he's confused, he's about to do the thing, and I shouldn't tell him to do the thing because then I'm going to confuse him or interrupt him. And all these little checkpoint resets are kind of used to zip Trico through the environment instead of waiting for him to walk. And I'll get his attention there before he turns around. Pretty sure Trico is an electric type Pokemon, and if you feed him enough barrels, he evolves at level like 36 or something.
Legendary, one of a kind.
So all of this that Trico's doing right now, he's doing on his own. Because like I said, I don't have commands for him. Thankfully, he was very kind, and he did this right away, instead of having me wait for him. Splat. That's kind of a common theme. The boy goes splat a lot. Thankfully, he's made of some combination of noodles and jello, so it never really hurts him. Trico is doing awesome. You kind of have to be, a little bit familiar with the run to appreciate all the times that he listens really well. But back there was actually a small cutscene trigger that he chose to skip, which is great, because if he hadn't skipped it, he would have gotten, it sounds weird, but he would have gotten really angry at the wall for like 45 seconds. And it's an automatic, essentially 45-second time loss, because you have to stand and try to get him to calm down. So he was very good. He just completely ignored that and chose to come after me.
Good electric cat bird winged friend.
I'll do a reset here to avoid waiting for this door to open and for Trico to realize he can walk through it. Trico will catch me in a second. Yeah, this glowing cage, kind of pulsing with a blue light. This blue light is kind of thematic. You'll see a lot of this color blue, and you'll kind of start to get an impression of what it means for Trico and for me. But Trico does not want to come down in here. He seems really scared, his eyes are all lit up. But he does it because I'm calling for him and he likes me. And so I very specifically chose to stand directly right here, on purpose. Because I didn't want Trico to have to move in order to launch me. Like, he just straight up ate me.
You're supposed to chew, but I guess not. That's okay.
In this situation, the fact that he doesn't have teeth and has no interest in chewing me is like really good.
Very cool.
Or I might be looking a little bit different. So I'm suddenly not eaten. How that occurred, what that means, where my mirror went, why I have more tattoos now, all of that will be explored in a later story cutscene if we get to watch them. We're still like $45 or something, I think, away from that incentive.
I will check for you right now. We are currently at 110 of 250, so we're 140 away.
Oh, 140. Not
Hey,
just
we gotta
40.
catch up.
We still got time. So what we're looking at here are, we usually just call them armors, and you know, the boy here is calling them armor as well. These are the primary bad guys of the game. And I say bad guys, but they are just sort of mindless antagonists. What they want is to take me through a blue door. There was a blue door back in that cage. Anytime you see a blue door, you can pretty much guarantee that there's going to be armor walking around. They can shoot kind of, I don't know, sigils, magical things, Naruto ninjutsu, at me. And if I get hit with enough of them, it'll stop me from moving. Like, I'll have to button mash on the controller in order to gain control of my character again. And they'll use that to try to, you know, stop me, slow me down, pick me up, and carry me through a door. I never ever want to make it through the door. That's a death, so we're going to be trying to avoid that whenever possible. But the good news is, these aren't actually, like, dudes in the armor. They're kind of just smoke, which makes them sort of easy to deal with. If you pop their heads off, the smoke comes out, and then they don't move anymore.
It goes for most things that have heads.
That is true. So Trico detests these guys, and I use that to my advantage because I'm a tiny little boy. I can't really fight these things on my own. Trico, on the other hand, he's got it covered. I'm gonna actually try, if we're lucky, do a skip here. Trico looks like he's giving me actually a wonderful opportunity. He just decimated those guys. Hey, buddy. Look. Look, dude, I've got a helmet. Trico. Big boy, come on. Looky, looky. Hey. What's this, dude? Good job, bud. So, more than Trico hates the armor, he hates their helmets. Just specifically their helmets. So during that fight, if we can get Trico to pop one of their helmets off and not, you know, angrily fling it off the bridge, I can trick him into following it in here. And it lets me get up onto this scaffolding. This is not the intended way to solve this puzzle. You are supposed to notice when you're still outside that Trico is very upset. And the game is trying to teach you, hey, when Trico gets upset after he fights, you should totally pet him to calm him down. Or else he won't progress. But because we were able to trick him into that room, he is, you know, we don't need to worry about calming him down because I can progress on my own. And then by the time that we get up here, he's already calm. So we skip the whole climb Trico, pet him for like 2 minutes to calm him down. And from here on out, we won't need to pet him again, unfortunately. Because he will just calm at the sound of his name.
Well, you say that, but I have a feeling that people are going to donate and tell you to pet the cat for electric type.
I mean, if I have to pet Trico incessantly, I'm not really going to complain.
Go, Trico, go. You can do it.
So he has a scripted thing here. He's always going to do this. He's going to run down, look around for a little bit, turn around, run back, then go around this kind of pillar over here to the right. So I'm actually going to wait for him over here. Even though this is scripted, you will learn fairly quickly that in this game, even scripted things can break, or they behave differently every time. So thankfully Trico was very cooperative here. He didn't get stuck, he didn't get confused, but we're also not done yet, so don't count your Tricos before they hatch.
Trico, not a speedrunner, not a fan of glitches.
So he is looking up at the White Tower again. Every time the Trico sees the White Tower, he's going to be doing what he's doing. Shouting at it, you know, just generally reminding us, hey, that's the White Tower, we're trying to go there. Goodness, he did not get stuck. That's a place that he can get stuck and kind of glitch out a little bit. Oh, we actually made Vine Skip during a marathon. What? Okay, this is not supposed to happen. Like, the game does not want you to do this. So I'm gonna see if I can get this to work. If I can't, it's fine. The reason that this is so hard is because, like I said, the game doesn't want this to happen. So I'm gonna try to do it. Come on. To get it to work anyway. I'm just trying to get the lid of this thing to close. It's not... The game hasn't given it permission. Nice. Which is why you kind of have to break the physics of the game to force it to close anyway. So we'll actually run this a little bit differently now. Trico was, and apparently still is, because he's Trico, gonna stick his head through that hole because that was a jug of food. I closed the top though. So he shouldn't be interested anymore. Normally you'd have this whole puzzle where you roll that thing along the tracks and kind of control which hole he sticks his head in. And now he's just scratching his ear. Gotta take a break. So I've never gotten Vine Skip in a marathon. Because you're not supposed to land on the roof like that, you're not supposed to be able to shut the jug like that. But I'll take it. It's faster than solving the puzzle the intended way. And so every now and then, you know, throughout the run we'll encounter situations like that where there's a big old jug or a vat or something of whatever it is that's inside the barrels. And Trico will say, I like the smell of this. this is my snacks, and then he won't go anywhere, you know, until we oh Trico, until we deal with it. Trico, don't leave me. Don't leave. Whew.
Trico, don't be camera shy. It's okay. We all love you here.
And Trico's my buddy, for sure. He's my pal. But that doesn't mean that he will always do what's best for me. Look at that! Whoops! So, you know, in a lot of situations, there's a very real danger that Trico's gonna leave without me and not come back. In which case we would have to reset to get him to come back. And that nearly happened there. I'm trying to find a way of getting down without breaking my leg. Because I was kind of supposed to stay on his back. So little shenanigans like that happen all the time. They're part of what keeps this run, you know, interesting. Every time. So Trico's looking up, he's getting a little bit angry, and what he sees is this. You're not, as a casual player, you know, for your first time, you're not supposed to necessarily notice that she's up there. You're just supposed to, like, look at Trico and be like, I wonder why he's upset. But we can get it to go faster by looking up at her directly. Alright, he's moving. Hopefully this reset works. The thing about checkpoint resets is that it's literally just memorization of what causes a checkpoint to trigger. There's no, you know, in-game indication that you have checkpointed, so sometimes it can be a little bit spooky. Sometimes the game just won't give it to you.
Got some good news for Trico and less good news for the speedrun. But I've got a donation here from Scala Kitty. $10 says, gotta donate for best fluffy boy Trico and for cutscenes and maybe also pets.
Hey, yay, thank you. I will give Trico pets at my next opportunity. Actually, you know what? We are gonna have a speedrun related opportunity for pets. The only chance that we're gonna have to pet Trico on purpose.
Form and function, I love it.
Yep, and tell him that he is a good boy, the best boy, the fuzzy boy. Fuzzy, feathery, something.
Both.
In this brief time, you know, I have solved that pillar puzzle the unintended way by catching Trico on the way up, so I didn't have to climb his tail. Now I'm going to be essentially trying to skip this entire fight. We'll see a bit RNG if Trico decides to, like, bunny hop. He didn't. So I'm going to leave Trico essentially to fend for himself, which, I mean, he's a giant feathery dog cat weasel thing. He's probably fine.
Also butt lasers.
Yeah, that's right. But he'll take care of that fight. I've progressed without him, which, you know, you're not really supposed to do. Which means that in order to get him back to me, I will need to reset at some point, but there is a pretty long stretch here that I can do on my own. Just some of those magic ninjutsu things coming through the air, trying to slow me down. Although I don't know what they would have done. Like, okay, they hit me with a bunch of those and I can't move anymore while I'm on the ladder. They can't climb ladders. So they've just made it worse for themselves. I'm just stuck on a ladder forever.
I feel like that's a serious construct design flaw. Like, you have this place, this temple with all these ladders, and you didn't give them the ability to go up.
Right. This is going to be really the first opportunity where I am actually concerned about getting grabbed by these guys. I need to not be grabbed by these guys. Got a little bit of lucky RNG there that he stepped out of the way. because all of this is very tight timing. We need things to go exactly the right way, or else Trico is going to break. His AI is not going to know how to handle this. So when I reset, he came through the door. There was a pressure plate that he triggered, and it trapped his tail underneath the door. I'm freeing his tail now so that he can help me with this fight. And he is actually helping, which is great. Now you may notice that he just smacked a guy, and that guy didn't explode. He just, like, landed against the wall. Oh, don't do it, buddy. Don't do it. Trico doesn't necessarily kill armor when he hits them, and that can become a problem. If he does that consistently throughout the run, we call that pacifist Trico, because he's not actually, hurting anybody. We need him to finish all of these armors before he goes down the hallway. Has he done that? Has he done that? No. Come on, dude. Good job. Okay, that should have been all of them, I hope. Please.
Please, Trico, decimate your enemies.
Because if he tries to do this before all of the enemies at the other end are gone, he's still a little bit broken. There we go. This, pre-scripted thing won't trigger, right? Thanks, buddy. And he'll end up just pacing back and forth up the hallway. So it's really important that he takes care of all of the armors in the first section before he progresses down the hallway. But sometimes he can get a little distracted by this guy, and that can cause him to break, so. Okay, if you were waiting for Trico pets, now's your time to shine. Because we have to pet Trico in order to get this skip to work. We have to pet him right on his head, right between his horns, because that gets him to sit down. Normally when I'm on Trico's head, he'll kind of, let his head hang low because I'm standing on it. But if I pet him, he'll sit down and he'll lift his head up. And I'm going to try to maneuver him in such a way that when he sits down and lifts his head up, he lifts me up onto the platform that I eventually want to be on. Pet. I'm actually going to pet him a couple times, maybe. Thank you. Good job, dude! Man, I would kill for that command skip at a regular run. It was really good. So the intended way to solve that puzzle is to be in that room. And there's... Oh jeez, he's so fast! Buddy! Look at you! Please, checkpoint. Thank you. So you're in that room, you have kind of a box that has a bunch of barrels in it, and you try, mostly unsuccessfully, to get Trico to step on that box and break it and get the barrels out. And the purpose is to teach you, boy, I wish that I could control Trico. And then you get frustrated, you can't get him to do it, and then the narrator says, Trico and I are friends now. I bet that if I tell him what to do, he'll listen. And that's how you get control of Trico, how you get to be able to command him. But actually, the trigger for being able to command him is just stepping on that ledge. So if you can step on the ledge without doing all of that stuff that takes like 5 minutes, you'll get commands anyway. And that's what we just did. We skipped the entire scenario of learning that we can command Trico and just straight up got the commands and then left. So now we can tell Trico what to do, or like I said earlier, we can suggest what to do. And, we hope that he listens. As a speedrunner of this game, you learn ways to encourage him to do it, to listen more regularly. But in the end, he is still an animal AI, and he will do what he will do, so...
Yeah, this kid is indestructible.
He is. He's literally like, I don't know what he's worried about. Anything could happen to him and he'd be fine. So that counted as me being grabbed, even though I didn't get grabbed, which is kind of common. If I get grabbed, all those sigils are going to come up on my screen. I'm going to have to button mash before I can get free. I'll temporarily lose control of my little boy. So now you'll see, essentially for the rest of the run, I'll be giving Trico commands pretty consistently. The only things that I can tell him to do are jump, walk, interact with, and, like, push, which I'll actually never use. So that's not, you know, not too many things that I can tell him to do, and with those commands we have to get him through every puzzle in the rest of the game.
It'll be fine.
So it's very much, yeah, it's very much understanding, you know, how Trico thinks and what you need to tell him in order to get him to understand.
Okay, I have a confession. I have a small fear of heights, so some of these sections, I'm just kind of like covering my eyes.
I mean, we're still pretty low to the ground for right now. It'll only get worse. There's one section in particular that I can think of that I'm sure you will just love. As you might be able to tell, you know, if I step in these lights, that's a bad deal for me. So let's not do that, because that'll wake these guys up before Trico gets in here to help me. In this case, it's fine that I get captured, and I would actually rather get captured, because Trico prioritizes helping me whenever possible. So if I'm captured, that's going to force him to do something about it, to fight. Or, you know, just stomp right on my face, like he just did. So sometimes I will get captured on purpose, so that Trico stops whatever, like, not helpful thing he's doing, and instead chooses to fight.
Trico, oh no, I'm in trouble. Please come help. Now
you can see he does have a spear in his thigh. I will do my best to take spears out as we go. There's another one in his shoulder. Because it is important that we manage how many spears he has. There's going to be a point in the game where the game checks how many spears he has, and if he has too many, it won't let you progress. So we do need to keep that in mind. But at the same time, you know, removing spears requires me to be on a very specific part of Trico that I might not necessarily want to be on. So sometimes we kind of gotta leave him for a little while. He hates these eyeballs. He will not progress whenever he sees eyeballs. Nice legs, dude. So we gotta get rid of those eyes. So Trico can solve this on his own. I am actually going to remove some spears while he does this. It's very easy in this particular section to confuse him with what to do next. So I'm mostly just going to leave him to his own devices and take these spears out. I'm I'm not going to have too many more opportunities like this where he's kind of inside of his body. Where he's just kind of standing around for a while, so... This camera is kind of pretty notorious in this game. I love this game to death, but I can't really defend it. It's not great. So, 90% of the time that I'm struggling with Trico, it's actually just that I'm struggling with the camera. Because sometimes, depending on where the camera is, you literally can't climb in a certain direction. The camera has to be behind you in order for you to climb upwards. If it's facing you, you can't climb up. There's just no button that does it. So, you need to get the camera to move, but the camera is like an actual in-world object that can run into walls and get stuck on stuff, and it's very odd.
So you can command a 5-animal hybrid, but camera, that's it. That'll be a possibility.
Yep. This is also a great time to mention that, the boy is holding on right now to Trico's feathers. Last Guardian is made by the same people who made Shadow the Colossus. So if you're familiar with that game, you hop on top of giant creatures and you have a stamina bar and you hold on and give a little stabby. But in this game, unlike that game, there is no grab button. So whenever the boy is grabbing like that, I just have to trust that he's doing it. That can cause problems, and in fact, I would almost guarantee that it will at some point. He will, choose not to grab or grab something he's not supposed to because I don't have control of it. So keep that in mind. I kind of see why they did it, but for a speedrunner, it can be kind of annoying. But we work with what we've got, right?
Why is this kid made out of flubber?
Well, despite him being made out of jello, I did just do a fall damage cancel onto the top of the pillar. He would have broken his leg if we fell straight down without hitting the top of that pillar. But if you can trick the game into beginning a grab animation or a climb animation in the middle of a fall, it'll forget how far you fell. And we will use that a couple times to remove ourselves from the jaws of death.
Fake out gravity, it's fine.
At this point, I'm sure you've already noticed that most of the time, I'm totally fine with the boy just splatting on the ground. So we've got another pot of goo. Gatorade. Whatever. Gushers. Rico's gonna be obsessed with it, and so I put it on the end of a chain that's attached to this door. Because as Trico chews on it, which is what the camera's trying to show me, be yanking the chain and lifting the door. Probably. Maybe. Someday.
Eventually.
Thank you. Yeah. So I've got this thingy. I call it an axle. I have no idea what it is. I'm gonna use this, if you can't tell, to shove underneath the door and prop it open so that Trico can get underneath. I can't control exactly where this thing is gonna fall when I push it off, but where it falls actually kind of determines how Trico behaves. So we're hoping for it to fall kind of far away. It did. So Trico is just having the time of his life over there. But as we expect, he will drop that and come look at me and be like, "Hey, what are you doing, buddy? How did you get over there?" And in trying to reunite with me, he'll try to charge into this gate. I can stop him, normally. Thank you, buddy. And then I'll tell him, interact with that to get his attention back onto the food jug. I mean, you can let him charge into the door, it's slower, that's all. So it's literally just a waiting game. He is going to do the big pull here in just a second, right here. Once you get his attention back, he's usually pretty consistent with how often he does that big pull. But sometimes you can just get a little bit unlucky, and he'll take a long time to do that. By very specifically hitting some nonsensical button presses that make absolutely no sense, I can get his attention off of this thing that he otherwise adores. It actually used to be a very big deal trying to get his attention off of that. So I do believe it was Samurai Blue, the current world record holder, who discovered how to get Trico to not pay attention to that thing. So we got a little unlucky here. And you can see I'm fighting with the camera. Trico jumped up here before I could be on his back. I was on his head instead of on his back. So we triggered this cutscene that's showing that he's afraid of these eyeballs. When in reality, in a best case scenario, I could have already had this helmet in my hands when the cutscene triggered. It's not a big deal. It's, you know, just being able to walk during a cutscene is kind of convenient. Now this, we still haven't figured out how to get him, you know, not interested in. So it's literally, I just have to kind of hope that eventually he will stop being interested in this glass. That was good. That did not take too long. Oh, camera! So another fun fact, right? When the camera moves, you can change, like, it changes the boy's trajectory in midair. So even if you're jumping in a straight line, if the camera turns to the right, the boy will turn to the right, which is literally what just happened. It made me miss my target by auto-panning the camera to Trico. The thing underneath me just broke. It was standing on a spot that I knew was safe, so.
Cart.
So this game, from a casual sense, is phenomenal in the way that it uses the camera. You know, it gently kind of is very cinematic in the way that the camera does its own thing and shows you things that are worth looking at. For a speedrun, as you have already seen, the camera forcing you to look at something or suddenly deciding that you shouldn't be looking at what you are currently looking at can be very challenging to deal with. And these eyeballs will remain a consistent problem throughout the entire run. We're always going to need to get rid of these because, as you can see, Trico is constantly terrified of them. What are you looking at, my dude? What is up there? Oh, it's the White Tower again. He doesn't usually shout at it from over here. So this thing is going to be breaking the floor as well, and so it's also going to be breaking this platform that I'm standing on. Thankfully, Trico realizes that, and he's maybe, probably, ready to catch me. This pot, because it's stopping this log that Trico can grab from rolling down. So that that's out of the way, he'll be able to grab that and pull himself up. It is important that we do that fairly quickly because he can and will break this platform and fall. So by standing where I chose to stand, I'm going to be able to move during this cutscene. Sorry, Trico, leaving you behind. But as always, during any of those pre-scripted things where Trico's supposed to grab you, that is not guaranteed. You can definitely miss, and Trico will just kind of watch you as you fall to your doom.
Kind of misses his lines like, oh, I was supposed to catch you? Whoops.
He stares down at you with like the most curious expression, like, what are you doing down there? Alright, let's go for a risky strat because I'm feeling cheeky. You're supposed to take this pendulum all the way back so that you have a lot of momentum with it for it to carry you over to where you want to be. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get it to carry me halfway and then try to hang on to this ledge. To get rid of, and once that's done, he'll be willing to come in here and help me with these armors. I see pieces flying already. Way to go. Are you done? What are you upset about, dude? Come on. Oh, this makes me want to barf. So of course he sees this giant eyeball. And he's unwilling to progress until we take care of it. Unfortunately, this one is way the heck out in the middle of nowhere, so we're gonna have to do quite a lot to try to get this one to be out of Trico's way. Calm down, my friend. Calm down. Forward, that's not gonna work. Trico must do this by taking a step directly sideways. If he takes a step forward, he'll do what he just did, which is step too close to the eyeball and get angry again. Are you ready? Can you handle it? Thanks, buddy. If you get very, very unlucky, he can just keep doing that like in perpetuity, and so he will just do it forever. You'll just tell him to go sideways, he'll take a step forward, he'll get angry. And tell him to go sideways, he'll take a step forward, he'll get angry. And you get stuck in this like vicious cycle. Drakes? My man. You got it? Thank you. So if you're afraid of heights, this is definitely the section for you.
Hey.
I'm not gonna wait nearly as long as it seems like I should. Yeah, like, what possessed him to think that this was a good idea? I love Trico to death, but I'm not sure that I would risk this trying to help my boy.
I'm still back at the first room, sipping on that barrel jug snack.
Once again, I'm gonna try to be cheeky because that's just the kind of runner I am. You're supposed to go through the back of this eyeball and do some more climbing and such. I'm gonna stand in a place that I'm not supposed to and just skip the entire puzzle. That's supposed to be able to stand up on that little ledge to jump sideways, but ain't nobody got time to solve it the regular way. I'm actually really happy that worked on the first try.
Listen here, game. We got places to be.
So this is how we're gonna get rid of this eyeball for Trico. And now that that's gone, we should be able to... Oh, I didn't want to be on the chain. To get him to follow us. Ready? The reason that I hopped down was because you're not supposed to do that. It's just that if you jump from all the way at the top, when you jump down to Trico's back, it'll do like a dramatic slow-mo thing. But if you jump from where I just was, it won't slow-mo. And that saves a little bit of time. We were actually down there earlier. That's where we looked up and saw the other Trico for the first time. She was up on these pillars. Leg. I'm a little concerned. You absolutely can be thrown off during those cutscenes. Just because the cutscene started doesn't mean you're safe. So being on his legs can be a little bit spooky. So there's a little scene up here that will trigger if I walk to the left on this platform. But thankfully, the trigger for it is on the top of the platform. So if I just go down here and go this way, the cutscene won't play. On that pillar, I gotta find some way to get him off of it, or to sort of help him out, you know. And the way that I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna open up these doors, go up this tower a little bit, and eventually try to drop a drawbridge down to him. Why are you standing in that particular spot, my friend? These armor guys can be a little bit problematic. Especially if I run into these ones. If I run into them, I move their attention from Trico to me, and then they'll follow me into this hallway. Definitely don't want that, because there's a door right here, and I'm gonna have to jump right in front of it in order to leave this place, so essentially I jump into the arms of armor that is waiting for me right in front of a door that's going to kill me, so we do not want armor to follow us. The only time in the run that I'm ever going to use that forward lunge jump thing is to get past that guy. That piece breaks, but it's the fastest way to get across. So as long as your timing is good, you'll get across before it it gives out from under you. I am going to go for the riskiest version of this skip because it's also the fastest. I missed though, which is fine because the checkpoint is right before where we just were, so I will try again. This is so much faster than doing it the intended way. What you're supposed to do is hop over to the drawbridge. A piece of the scaffolding will break and you'll sort of hang down. Trico will jump over, and once he's over and clinging onto the drawbridge, you'll jump down onto his back. Even attempting this method multiple times, as long as you eventually do get it, is faster than waiting for all of that to happen. Alright, second try. Still very decent. So we'll let that drawbridge down for Trico. And the reason that that way is faster is not only because you don't have to drop down on Trico and then climb all the way up his back, but also, as soon as you touch the ground over there, whether Trico was ready to jump or not, he will be over there. The game spawns him over there because he needs to be there when the drawbridge comes down. So you can kind of make him teleport, even if he wasn't ready.
Teleporting and butt lasers. Psychic electric type.
So Trico is now sitting outside the room that we're in. And he's not gonna move. He's gonna be like, I'm hungry. I need a barrel before I'll go anywhere. So I'm grabbing this barrel, taking it up here. You're totally not supposed to walk up that. There's a very, tiny little spot where the boy will collide with that block in such a way that he'll walk on top of it. The intended solution is to throw the barrel back and forth from platform to platform, and then, scurry over there real quick and stop it from rolling away. But I just walked out because I don't feel like dealing with that complicated and very long puzzle. So he's chilling. He's like, boy, can I have a snack? Here you go, bud.
It looks like chat has figured it out. It's a Lowland Raichu.
I think an Alolan Raichu might be a little bit more pocket-sized than our Trico.
Gigantamax. Alright, solve.
Oh yeah, there you go, there you go. Okay, there are holes in the floor. I would really appreciate not falling into them. So this jump from Dark Room, for some reason, is very hard for Trico to understand. Also, he has flashlight eyeballs, because of course he does. It's big brain time. Are you ready?
Ready.
You got it? He does got it, apparently. That is surprising. This jump is really hard for him, because it's straight up, it's very, very tiny. He has to kind of merge himself with the wall temporarily in order to be able to fit. But he did a very good job. And the dog is dragging his bed into the curtains again. So if you hear background noise, that be it.
Somebody else wants a snack.
Giving Trico too much attention.
That's it. Jealous.
Trico's actually up, pushing on this drawbridge to push it down. We can't really see him doing that, but that's what's happening. I am falling through space, apparently.
I think we've already established, in this universe, physics aren't real.
This game's idea of physics are certainly generous. So I was trying to skip this cutscene. Super, super rare, but definitely possible. If you can get Trico very quickly to listen to you, he will go and make this jump before you get this whole, oh, there's more than one Trico cutscene. But that is important story-wise. There is more than one Trico. We can keep hearing it in the background. We've already seen it once, kind of hanging around up above us.
Well, did you know?
Borf, borf, he says.
Did you know that we're still on our way to watch all the story cutscenes? We're at 120 of 250. So if people want to learn more about this game and be less confused, maybe get on that donation train. Also, you can donate for pets.
Whoa. Donate for pets for the boy because he probably doesn't feel too good after that jump. Definitely one of the spookier strats there that I just tried to pull off. It's been a little while now since I've missed it, but it's definitely very easy to miss. You know, obviously I was trying to grab the rope halfway. No big deal, you know, we're already on the rope again, so we're fine. Definitely has a very weird idea of, like, momentum. Sometimes, if the boy is going fast enough, even if he does grab something like this rope or Trico or whatever, his momentum will actually rip him off of it again. So he'll grab it and then it'll like slip through his fingers. So even if I had made that rope jump a little bit more to the right and the boy would have grabbed it, there's no guarantee he actually would have stayed on it. Which is why it's risky. You are considering donating not only to a good cause, but to watch the cutscenes of this game. I would just say, I suppose, that I think that the cutscenes are one of this game's strongest points, and you will definitely appreciate a lot more about Trico and understand a lot more about Trico if we do get to watch them. Plus, timing actually stops for this category before we get to find out what happens. So you might just get left with a bunch of questions and no answers if we don't meet that incentive.
I don't know about everybody else, but I'm confused enough.
So the theme here is that I'm trying to be cheeky and do all of the really hard strats. This is one of them. Oh, I'm gonna be quiet because this is very hard. Nice. Yay. Full rope run.
That was terrifying.
So the reason that we do that, right, is because the boy has this really slow, like, arms out animation when he is walking across the rope. And, you know, he didn't grab there. It's fine. But we can trick him into running all the way across the rope by running from a ledge and then not letting him start that animation. But any deviation to the right or to the left and he will fall and you'll have to do the regular waddle across the rope. That death that I took there was a really good example of the fact that there's no grab button. Like, the boy just chose not to grab. Sometimes that happens. And so part of, you know, being in contention for the world record for this run is just running it over and over again until you are lucky and get a run where things like that don't happen. You know, where the boy is always responsive where Trico is always responsive. That sort of thing. But I like the variance. I like how trolly and memey this game can be because it keeps things fresh.
Sometimes RNG is on your side, and sometimes it's not.
That's true. Things like that cutscene skip are entirely RNG and can save, 45 seconds. You can't really see it, but Trico does see another eyeball, and that's what I'm heading up to take care of. Thank goodness there is always conveniently a solution when Trico is stuck. So there's that eyeball down there.
Come on, Trico, save us.
This is one of the spookier ones. This is one of the ones where he's more likely to miss. Come on, dude. Help! No, checkpoint. The checkpoint here is just to turn Trico around, get him ready to climb again, get me over here. Saves a couple seconds. Mostly it saves aggravation of trying to get Trico to spin around. So it doesn't really look like he has spears right now. This is a great time to remove spears if he has any. But he's been doing really good. And this was a really fast first jump here. So Trico's gonna take this entire tower by himself. I am not going to give him commands because he knows what to do, and giving him commands will only confuse him. We are definitely more than halfway to the point where the next cutscene would be that we would only get to see if the incentive were met, so if y'all are looking to donate for that, we still have a little bit of time, but we are approaching one of the very important cutscenes as far as story is concerned.
Donate for those cutscenes and donate for those pets.
So any time lost or gained on this tower is entirely Trico. How fast he sizes up these jumps, how fast he chooses to walk around these platforms. I've got to rely on him.
I believe in you, buddy. You can do it. Oh boy.
He does fall
Sable,
down
you
every
ready?
single one of these. Yeah.
All right. Well, we just got in $100 from Checksor. Loving the commentary and the love you have for your pet dog and pet Trick.
Nice.
We are only $30 away from
Thank you so
watching
much.
all the story cutscenes.
We got this in the bag at this point, right?
I think so. We'll beat it soon. I'll be less confused about what's going on in this game. Scala wants to know, but when are there some big old pets?
I can give Trico pets in this next section. Once he helps me out, we'll get our pet on. See if maybe I can get him to sit down.
Also, another fun fact, we are only $35 away from 13,000.
It's insane.
So is this kid's luck.
Trico's fine. Oh, mostly fine. His face got beat up a little bit, so one of his ears will be down for a little while. But he's okay.
Okay, good.
So there was that other Trico. I mean, she's definitely walking around, definitely not happy that we are here. She will be an ever-present threat. Keep in the back of our minds. You can see one of his ears is down. Buddy, need your help, my friend. You may also have noticed that at the beginning of the game his horns were broken, and now they are starting to grow back.
Oh yeah!
That happens because of the barrels. The more barrels we give him, you know, the more his horns grow back. Hi, buddy. So he was trying to hop over, trying to grab me in his mouth. He couldn't quite reach. He can't reach with his little footsies either. So we gotta figure out some other solution. So this is another great example of how triggering a climbing animation or a grab animation is going to cancel fall damage. Hopefully. This one could be a little bit finicky because we are going to fall essentially the exact same distance that the game understands as a death. So sometimes it will give us credit for the death, and sometimes, hopefully more often, it will give us credit for the grab so that we don't take a death on this very far fall. And you know, the camera's kind of being a little bit weird, but there we go. That looks like a good setup. It's just RNG, and we got a little bit unlucky. It counted the death instead of the grab. You saw that I grabbed.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it counted the death first. The checkpoints here are also, you know, notoriously wonky. Sometimes, depending, there's a checkpoint up on this ledge, and sometimes I'm still in the tree. But no biggie. We'll have another go. Apparently after the boy decides to flop down for a hot second. Alright, let's do it! Go. So once again, we've got a barrel. Same premise as before. Trico's gonna sit down, he's not gonna move. I'm gonna not throw it from platform to platform and instead just walk up here and finish the puzzle.
Puzzles, who needs them?
Ooh, you know what I can do? Instead of petting Trico here, let me pet him after the next section. Because he's gonna need to be calmed down anyway. And we can pet him and calm him down instead of calling him. Then maybe I can get him to sit down and do a big ol' yawn. Have a snack, my friend.
Num 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 num.
Tail also lights up, by the way. When he eats a barrel, the tip of his tail lights up. Well, while he's doing this, I'll give him some pets, because petting actually cleans the blood off. Well, let's clean him up a little bit. He's had a rough day. He deserves a little bit of pets.
And he caught you mostly every time.
Basically every time. Wait, I wanna get your ouchies. Come on.
I have to agree with Chat on this one. Magical healing pets.
Rico's a tough guy. Do you actually understand, buddy? I didn't think so. I was gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, but in the end, you're just a bird brain after all.
Well, I have some news for this wonderful bird brain. We just received $40 from Napshot. We're lurking on and off over the last few days while studying for a midterm, enjoying the runs and the commentary. Here's to those cutscenes and for a good cause, and that means, bam, we have met the goal. You gotta watch all the story cutscenes now.
Nice. Oh, I'm so excited. The cutscenes are so good. They're so good. Y'all are in for a treat.
And now we get the deep lore behind Wonderful Cat.
Yeah, we'll do some pets. We'll do some cutscenes. Things will be great. What you can't see right now is that Trico is actually very upset at some armor up in a window. This is our first encounter with armor that is carrying shields. The shields are made of the same glass eyeballs that he hates. So before he will fight, we need to get those people to drop their shields. Shield enemies.
Didn't we have one of those at one point? Didn't we have a shield?
Maybe.
Okay.
But the problem with these guys, yoink, is that Trico begins a fight, and then one of them, this is a little bit of an exception, he'll jump no matter what, but if somebody else picks up one of these shields and holds it up to his face and it scares him, he'll become more pacifist for the rest of the run. I don't think that's an intended consequence that the game wanted to have, but it happens. So this Trico is a Trico that, gently taps an armor on the head and then doesn't actually destroy it. And we definitely don't want that to be happening. That makes fights a lot slower. I am walking directly to my doom, trying to pull this helmet off. Okay. So whenever possible, we're going to be trying to take care of these armors, shields as soon as possible. Break them so that Trico can't look at them. Alright, let's give Trico pets. Normally I would do a reset here, but let's pet him to calm him down. Hey buddy, you good? What are we looking at? Hey dude! There you go. Now he just sees the barrel inside that room, and he wants it.
I did good fight. King gets neck?
Mm-hmm.
I am here for genocide Trico.
See, I kind of get the impression you didn't understand. Is that the case? You doing a little confused? There you go. So the butterflies, by the way, that are currently by me but are kind of leaving, indicate that there's a barrel nearby. So the more butterflies are around you, the closer you are to the barrel. The reason that there were 3, the maximum number of butterflies, was because we were in fact standing right next to a barrel. You just couldn't see it. It was behind one of those suits of armor. that didn't have a head on the wall. If you would have carried one of the heads from the fight and put it on that armor, he would have woken up and you would have been able to get the barrel.
Oh boy, I didn't even realize that last donation, in fact, put us over $13,000 raised for Take This.
Oh yeah, 13,005 it looks like.
So excited about pets.
Trico has found himself another giant vat of snacks. And he moved out of my way. Why would you do that, buddy? He nearly let me just crash into the ground. So he's super distracted by this bucket of gushers. So for now, petting him won't do any good. He won't listen because he's like super distracted. But I should be able to pet him again after we solve this puzzle. I want to get him to lay down because his yawn is like the most adorable thing. So the part of the puzzle we're skipping is where, you know, as a casual player, you would push this thing and you would realize that it goes to a dead end. And so we're switching the tracks so that it goes not to a dead end. Because we gotta get this thing away from Trico or he's just gonna stay here forever.
Smells so good.
So at least I guess we took care of it. I mean, we dumped it all through the floor. Trico's not really focused on it anymore because it's not in the bucket. I don't necessarily know what we're swimming in. Probably not great. Since it's, you know, green, but... So we've got another RNG puzzle here. We can sort of encourage it to be in our favor. But Trico's up above me now, and I need him to break the floorboard. And whether he does that and how fast is basically just a matter of the game being willing to give credit to him for actually walking on the planks that break. And sometimes the game can be a little bit of a troll about that.
Sable, if I may.
Yeah.
Skal is letting me know we've officially raised over what we raised last year. New marathon PB.
Yeah, nice.
Nice. Let's keep it going. This is only Friday morning, right?
Yeah, you're going until Saturday evening, right?
Yes.
So Trico broke a hole in the floor. Yay! Why does that matter? Because he's going to be looking at me, and now his tail is falling through the floor. Up we go. And this puzzle is done. Fairly decently, I would say. That was pretty decent. Trico did a good job. And then he stepped out of the way so that I nearly fell back down into the hole, because, you know, that's what Trico do. So now that the incentive for Last Guardian is met, I believe that the next one is for Pingu?
Yes, it is. Alright, I'm gonna attempt to say it. This is gonna get interesting. It is for Pingu Sekai de Ichiban Genki na Penguin. Bonus Penguin Dance Party. We're only at $10 out of $250, but we got time. We can get there.
That was good. I love the name of that game. I've never seen that game, but in Japanese it's like the #1 most energetic penguin in the world is what it means, and
Awesome.
I have to love it just based on that.
That's so adorable. I'm all for any kind of penguin dance party, especially a bonus one.
So Trico totally took care of this fight on his own. He's a big boy, but now he's gonna sit down again and say, I'm hungry. You know the drill. He's gonna do a couple little twirls. Just remind us how elegant he is, I guess. Dude, what are you doing, my man? His, like, model isn't quite working right.
Gotta prepare the sit spots.
There we go. I was gonna pet him here, but actually if I pet him, I'm gonna stop him from doing something even better.
We're gonna get the yawn?
We're gonna get a dance.
Oh yeah.
He's so happy. He's like, oh, I got my snacks. I feel so good.
Part cat, part Zeus, part demon, part dancing ferret.
Yep. Bird dancer. So while we're still sort of vaguely on the topic of Japanese, the Japanese name for this game is Hitokui no Owashi Toriko, which literally means absolutely massive man-eating eagle, Trico. And I am just in love with that name, because who names their video game that? But also, kind of a little bit of a spoiler, isn't it? Because you don't realize that Trico gives some people the munch until you're about 20 minutes into the game. Well, into the speed run. It's probably more like 3 hours into the game casually, but a little bit of a spoiler to just have that info right in the title, right?
Gotta let it learn naturally, you know, when he swallows you whole.
Yeah. I missed! What? What? That has never happened before. The boy, like, didn't get vertical momentum. He must have gotten hit in the head with a rock. And that, like, killed my upward momentum. Yeah, the curse of the marathon luck strikes again. It's fine.
Fall titanium kid dies.
Trico, are you gonna grab me? I'm pretty low, dude. Okay.
Every frame that ticks by, I'm getting more and more scared. Come on.
Buddy! Buddy! You didn't do the thing, my friend! Oh, that's too bad. It's really cute. And he didn't do it for some reason. He'll pick me up there and, like, just throw me over his head onto his back.
Clearly needs more pets.
I guess so. I'll have another opportunity to pet him here. After this next little section is done. Thanks. Bud, I need you to lift your head. What are you doing with your hand, my dude? What are you doing? No. Okay, you know what? Reset. I really want this to work. Because I want to show you what happens. So we're gonna do all of this again. All of it. And Trico's, you know, still super confused, but hey, that's cool. We've saved a lot of time, so this is going to make essentially no difference. And I really want this to work, because even having to do this again, we're still going to end up saving time. I'm trying to trigger a glitch when we touch down on the floor over there. And it's just really important to me, so we're trying again. Alright, buddy. Can you do it this time, please? I need you to move your head and not do some sort of weird dance moves with your hands, okay? Yeah, good. Good job, dude. That's all I needed. Thanks. So hopefully that worked. If it did, we will come into here and only one enemy will exist. It did work. So we glitched the game out. We basically reloaded before it was done loading this section, so the only thing that it loaded was this armor. The reason that I wanted that was because this armor that was supposed to be here would have had this shield. And that really puts a damper on this fight, so now I only have to fight one guy without a shield instead of 4 guys, one of whom has one. And that ends up being a lot faster, especially when Trico just absolutely decimates that man. Hey, buddy. I hear tell that we need some more pets. Calm it down, my friend. Calm it down. You're good. Hi. There you go. Plus, we'll clean some blood off your shoulder, right? Alright, so I'm going to tell him to interact with that. There's a cog on the wall that I want him to mess with. In the meantime, you'll notice that the fight music continues, potentially for a very long time. Sorry. It's part of the glitch. The game doesn't realize that the fight is over because 4 enemies didn't die, so it's going to continue to play the fight music until... until... what, potentially 15 minutes from now, I suppose?
Boy.
I want to show y'all everything that this game has to offer, so of course I'm going to try to trigger this this cutscene glitch. Or this Coliseum glitch, I meant. Buddy, you're hitting it with your butt and you're putting it in the wrong spot. Alright, so we're up here. We gotta get Trico up here with me. That won't be too bad, because he's got a nice big platform that he can jump to over here. You can see, by the way, that we are getting much closer to the top of White Tower. We've made significant progress despite that very grumpy other Trico smacking us right in the face and knocking us down. The Trico's coming. He's on his way. While he figures out that he can jump up here, I am actually going to go open this other door. This is very specific pathing that will allow us to checkpoint reset. All of these things have to happen in this exact order. Next, Trico will come up. And as soon as he's up, we should be good to go. Oh, there's so much brightness! This game loves to be bright. The developers said that they wanted a lot of brightness, a lot of like haziness, to give the impression that you were... It's the same as Shadow of the Colossus, to give the impression that you were in, you know, like a mystical land, or like an enchanted place that is different from the rest of the world somehow. Which is why we have a lot of this, like, very bright flare stuff kind of happening with the lighting. So we are heading up to water puzzles. These are usually some of the most consistent parts of the run. That says quite a lot considering that this run is, you know, based on an AI. Trico's usually pretty good at these. So they're typically within about 7 seconds of the same time.
Consistency.
I do think that the controls for swimming were kind of an afterthought when developing this game. They are not great, but you really only have to use them here, so in the end it doesn't make that much of a difference. Of course, Trico wouldn't quite let me get past him because of the auto grab, so I'm gonna need to jump off his head.
Trico, you're in the way.
To be fair, it's pretty hard for him not to be in the way because he's a large boy.
Large and growing.
I think these puzzles give a lot of casual players trouble because it's not really clear what you're supposed to do. Like, sure, you hit this lever and you can very clearly see that there's a lever, but after that, what do you do? And it's not entirely, shown to you, but when that gate opened just now, another gate much deeper in the water also opened, and Trico can go through that. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to open these underwater passageways so that Trico can keep moving forward. And I can think, it's a little bit of a ways from now, but I can think of exactly the next time that I want to pet Trico. It's going to be perfect. It's not going to mess him up. Hopefully we can get him to sit down and yawn. It'll be great.
Trico, we have strategic speedrun pets just for you.
The Trico has gone off, and now he's standing on a little island over on the other side of the arena, if you want to call it that. And there's no ladder for this one, so I actually need Trico to notice me. Notice me, senpai. And then come over here, jump in the water, and create a giant wave that's going to lift me up and help me solve this puzzle. I really like this solution. I like how creative this puzzle is. But it is so hard to get it to work, like the first time that you play. Because there's a very specific setup for getting it to work consistently. Alright, dude. Let's go on our underwater adventure.
Trico doggy paddles. Absolutely.
The problem is he's just kind of not really built to be underwater, and so it makes it even better when he has to swim. He looks kind of like a weirdo. But the problem is that he's, a giant weasel ferret chicken dog cat with gigantic lungs. And we are not. We have tiny human lungs, so... Oops. Just totally left us behind.
Okay, bye.
Atamise tarana, ototuri kuno, irakazi, arasai, iniazi, awi.
He's just gone. He's like straight up gone. He's not with us anymore. We have to do a pretty significant portion of the game now without Trico. But don't worry, I will get us through that as fast as possible so that we can get back to our feathery friend.
Good. Back to the pets.
However, if you've ever seen this speedrun before, you will know that this section is notorious for being a run killer. I'm confident that we can handle this fairly decently. But cage puzzle is definitely coming up now that we have access to these cages. And hopefully RNG smiles upon us. Or I suppose physics smiles upon us?
Alright, I know it might be a little spoilerish, but I want to put the chat at ease. There's more Trico.
There's definitely more Trico. We're just on a quest right now to locate Trico as fast as we can. He's hanging out. He's like, where did my human go? He doesn't know where he lost us, so we have to find him since he can't find us.
Trico sounds more and more like my cat every minute.
I lovingly call Trico my chicken dog, but in reality he is a lot more like a cat than a dog, I think.
I mean, really, at this point, you could just kind of point to the whole farm and be like, this is Trico.
Alright, so as we come up around here, we're starting to see some feathers. It's a promising sign. We do have a tail. We have a Trico tail, but I'm gonna choose not to climb it. And instead, I'm just gonna hop this way a little bit faster. Unfortunately for us, this is not our Trico. This is the angry Trico that slapped us in the face and yeeted us off a cliff, so now we've got to deal with her. And she's not in a good mood. Oof. She did hit me, but she didn't knock me off, which is awesome. I just need to get past her. Alright, we cool. You are definitely not supposed to solve that way. You're supposed to climb up onto a rope above her by getting her to run into a tree, and then you shimmy across the rope for a while, but I'm brave enough, I can run right up to her face. Oh, she is close though. She is close. Whew. She is doing her very best to knock me off this platform, but we're past her. She can't reach me up here. The timing for that cycle is tight. She definitely can stick her head in there and force you to lure her to different places so that you can get through. But we made it.
I'm not a fan of this other Trico. I want my Trico back.
I would definitely say, as far as maybe cuddliness is concerned, our Trico has the leg up. Okay, so we're up here trying to get into this elevator to get the heck away from this angry Trico. This Trico, on the other hand, has a slightly different idea of what we should be doing with our time. So there's nothing I can do here. She is free to just beat me around however she wants. She cannot send the cage flying off of the end over there. There's an invisible barrier. But other than that, you know, she can just smack me around. So her horns are resonating with this noise in the background, and thankfully that gets her to leave.
This is the worst shark cage ever.
This is the beginning of Cage Puzzle, which is what I was talking about earlier as, you know, one of the run killers. So this puzzle is not easy. It's a puzzle that, on average, you know, casual players take between 20 and 30 minutes to solve, unless they get lucky, which can happen for sure, because it's a very physics-based puzzle. We're going to be trying to solve this in the span of about a minute and a half, hopefully. We shall see. But for now, the narrator is going to say it seemed like I waited for an eternity. So we do kind of have to wait for an eternity here for a little bit in order for that to actually be meaningful. So whether I move, whether I don't, doesn't particularly matter. We've just gotta hang out. The camera will pan here in a second to let us know that we're about to progress. Now, the reason that this is challenging is, number one, you know, this cage is not like a circle, you know. It'll switch from one side to the other, and that can make it hard to control. Running directly down the middle doesn't necessarily make it go straight, so it's very hard to control in general. With the additional complication that we are, you know, about to have other factors at play. We will wait a minute to determine what exactly those are.
So many physics questions, like how could you even run in that cage without breaking an ankle?
Well, that's part of the problem, is that you do often break your ankle when you're in this cage, and it really slows things down.
Oh boy.
Because then he limps, and for as long as he's limping, he's not moving the cage. He's just standing there, being like, Trigger! And he won't, like, do anything, so we want to keep him from breaking his leg as often as possible.
Well, 3 or 4 stories, totally fine. Stuck in a cage, that's it.
Yep.
Game over.
Like a little tumble onto your face from a standing position? No. Both your legs just shattered.
Oh.
Us, and we found him. It was kind of a joint effort. Rico is part of what makes this puzzle really hard. Rico wants to help, because he is a great and wonderful boy. However, help in this situation is kind of a vague term, and he's not really very good at it. He often makes it worse. Because I want this cage to be in a very specific position, and I want Trico to not like mess with it. And messing with it is something that he is very good at. Whether by stepping on it or nuzzling it with his face because he wants to be petted, he will do everything he can to move this cage from a good position. Which he's about to do because he wants pets. And so he's going to move the cage a little bit. Alright, buddy. Are you ready? I need his help to get above this ledge. I need him to push me. After that, I need him to leave me the heck alone. Ooh, that's a yikes for me, dog. That is a yikes for me. That is not a good setup, Trico. But we'll live with it. Because we're up here now. How on earth am I going to undo this? And see, he tried to push me a little bit, and that, like, kind of totally messed with my steez. So Trico makes this, Trico makes this 6 times harder. His face is in the way, his head is in the way, I just want to turn this cage. And he's just, kind of, Treeks, buddy. Stop pawing it with your feet, please. Okay, that should be good, that should be good. Man, we're stuck on a wall. Here you go, bud. Bud. Okay. I'm good. I'm good, dude. I need you to stay out of the way, please. Alright. We're over. We're over. So that's part number 1 done. Thankfully without too much difficulty. Trico was definitely being trollco, but we got it done. And I'm sure you can see, right? You know, him pushing the cage with his hands, pushing the cage with his face, standing in the way and not letting me roll backwards. All of that contributes to cage puzzles sometimes being very challenging. He can shove you right in a corner and then you're just done for. Flap flap, my real life dog says in the background.
Here's a question for you. Can chat donate for pets for Real Dog?
Oh, sure. My
Chat
real
your-
dog's name is Bryce. He is a 16-year-old Chihuahua Beagle. And he would love that.
Chat, you heard it here first. Donate for pets for Bryce. All the good boys and weasels and flying magic ferrets get pets today.
Okay, so this is actually a really, really good setup for the second half. The second half could be even harder than the first. I would like you to appreciate the boy just running around like that. The second half could be even harder than the first because you can get wedged into a place where you can't roll the cage, or Trico, you know, could be down here and stop you from rolling the cage. But that was actually really decent. So we've got this helmet head. And we need that because Trico is once again gonna sit down and he's gonna say, "Feed me. I worked really hard to help you solve that puzzle. I'm hungry." So I need to have this helmet so that I can put it on top of the suit of armor, which has a barrel behind it. And, you know, it didn't trigger. Please? Thank you. So that guy is distracted, casting ninjutsu at me. And I'm just gonna walk right past him. So we'll give Trico this barrel. Trico's gonna have a little bit of platforming to do, and then I promise I will give him all the loving pets.
Perfect. That's the content we're here for. All the love and pets.
Meanwhile, in real life, I think that Bryce is about to drag his bed back into the curtains, so, you know, more background noise. Managing a real-life doggo and an in-game doggo at the same time.
Bryce, we love you too, I promise.
Like, not gonna lie, 203 at the conclusion of Cage Puzzle is a really good time. And we've still... Like, I've just been cheeky. I've been taking deaths just to show things off, and reloading just to show things off. This, early on, might have actually been world record pace.
Trico on his best behavior for the marathon.
He is. He's doing a good job. I say as he is just completely ignoring me. Borf, borf, you say. I know, this is a confusing jump, my dude. It's so confusing that it's just right in front of you and you don't know what to do. You got it.
Yeah.
So I'm just reading his body language and you know, determining whether he has understood me or whether he knows what to do. Because if he knows what to do, if he's in the process of doing it, giving him a command is going to stop him from doing it. So we definitely want to, you know, make sure that if he is doing the right thing, we don't discourage him from doing that. Very much like a real animal.
I try to do that with my puppy, but I don't understand the things she does.
Alright, we'll get Trico out of here. Then we'll give him some good pets. I do occasionally pet him like you just saw when he's jumping, because again, I don't have a grab button. So petting him is a good way to force the boy to grab onto him so that he doesn't just fall off. If I'm not sure that the game is gonna, you know, give me credit for holding on.
That design choice
Hey, buddy.
amazes me. 90% of this game is holding on to Trico, and there's no grab button.
Right? Here we go. We got him to sit down. We got him to yawn by petting him. If I pet him for a long time, he'll just like straight up go to sleep.
Same.
I mean, you can't deny just having somebody rub your belly. You know, that's probably like just about the best. Rico's really good at solving this section on his own, so I'm just gonna let him do that. Again, because I don't want to interrupt him if he's doing something good. We're gonna get to his head in preparation for attempting another pretty risky skip. It's high risk, little reward, but like I said, I'm a pretty cheeky runner, so I want to try to do all of these things, even though it's during a marathon.
Do it. Bring that spice.
And it worked, so yeehaw. Manipulated Trico a little bit there based on where I was standing so that when he hopped up to that platform, he would look to the right instead of to the left. If he looks to the left, he kind of wedges his head into a pillar and you can't make that jump, so otherwise we would have had to get off of him and shimmy along a wall like this to get to the same platform. Saves just a couple seconds with the possibility that you know, fall tragically to your doom. But that's just kind of a consequence. Yeah, it's just, it happens. So since we have reached the cutscene incentive, we will get to see this lovely cutscene that's about to play. One of my favorites, for sure. I think there's only one other cutscene that I would more highly. Wow, that was a long load for this game. Alright, so we're in another one of these cages. The only difference is that this time there are armors and a blue door, which is a little bit spooky. But if you remember what happened last time, we're kind of in for the same treatment. launched we get. So we get a lot of cutscenes here. They're all very good. While they are playing, I am actually going to go stretch my legs because I've been sitting for 2 hours. This is a good opportunity to get a drink if you have not had a drink so far. We've been here for a little more than 2 hours.
Get up, hydrate, stretch a little bit. Alright, while these wonderful cutscenes are going, I'm going to tell you what's going on with the marathon. In case, if you're loving Speedrun Ragnarok and you want to hang out with us more often, consider joining the RPG Valkyries Discord. We'd love to have you. Type !Discord in the chat for a link. And in fact, I'll do that for you, so you can continue to rest and watch the cutscene. Oh, Moopbot already beat me to it. Well, I'm going to do it again. Face is scary. Humans, bite-sized for your convenience. Dog, rat, bird, weasel, goat, ferret, electric, psychic type.
Inamoto autonom isarabea.
As being a chosen one goes, I don't think being eaten by said animal hybrid is probably the best way to go. Let's go back to just rituals and being born under star signs.
Someone in the village should have just been like, hey, no, drop it. What do you have in your mouth?
With a little bucket spray bottle, like, no, stop it. roasted chimkin.
So it's easy to miss during the cutscene, but when the lightning struck, the tip of his tail got blown off as well.
Alright, spoilers from 2 hours and 15 minutes ago. Everything's fine. Just before we hit the action again, just want to let everybody know you can support Take This and get some sweet Speedrun Ragnarok swag by ordering off one of our official shirts. Exclamation point merch in chat will give you the links to our listing on Bonfire. Don't worry, I've got you covered. Bam! I'm starting to get punchy. I've had a couple too many monsters.
In case you were a little unsure, this is in fact our Trico. That's how he got the spears in him at the beginning. That's how he ended up chained up down here. And that's how we ended up with him. He kind of barfed us out in a puddle of barrel goo. And the barrel goo is what gives the tattoos, so that's why every time he eats us, we get more tattoos.
Only it was actually that easy.
This time, though, I like that you can see, right, that Trico barfed us out again, and there's little barrel shards on the ground that came up at the same time. But this time, we're not really getting up like we did before. And Trico's a little concerned that maybe he did a big oopsie and accidentally.
Alright, Trico, just charge up your butt laser and gently tap us in the chest. I'm sure we'll be fine.
So he's going to be doing everything he can, just like, we were just doing a section of the game on our own. Now Trico is going to be kind of taking matters into his own hands for a little while and trying to help us.
Three-story falls, no big deal. Right? Armor, no big deal. One little 4 episode, and suddenly we're sickly pale green.
He's just doing his best. He's trying so hard
Human nugget, get up!
to get us to wake up. Yeah.
put us in the sun. And just like Superman, we'll stand right back up.
That's literally his plan. He's like, okay, I'm gonna put the boy into the sun. And then he then proceeds to just stand directly over us so that we don't get any sun.
That right there, that's some dog logic.
Big brain moves. I mean, definitely. Always drops you face down. Swings you wildly through the air. I mean, that's gotta be good for you, right?
Hold on, I'm just gonna poke you with my sharp chicken claw that I use to decimate metal.
Then he's like, oh, I know what'll help. How about I put him in water? That'll wake him up. Then he proceeds to put me face down in the water. I mean, hey, it worked, to his credit. Guess when my options are being unconscious or drowning, I'll get up. Okay, so we have overcome the second cage. We are now moving on to the other hardest part of the run. Speedrunners who are just starting with this game typically will add this next bit as the very last thing, because it's very challenging and failing costs a lot of time. So hopefully we will get this on the first couple tries. This is going to be White Tower Skip. If you're at all familiar with this run, you will recognize that. We have seen the White Tower, right, for the entire duration of the game. And we've been trying to get to it. And here shortly we are going to have an opportunity to run right up to the front of it. And the game is going to want me to go all the way around the back of the White Tower in order to get up to where I want to be. And instead, I'm going to use scaffolding that actually looks quite a lot like this to just go up, up, up into places I'm not supposed to be and go straight from bottom to top vertically instead of going all the way around the White Tower. It'll make a little bit more sense when you see it, but needless to say, the game does not want you to be there. It is not really programmed for you to be there, necessarily. So we have to trick the game into letting us stand there by using the camera and by water. So I expect it will take a couple tries. I'm going to use a little bit of a safer strat to make sure that we have the best chance of getting it for the sake of a marathon. What am I looking at? But first we have a couple things to deal with. The first is going to be, getting Trico through this maze of mines. Because he is rather large, and these mines are rather small. The reset is going to pull him out of the tunnel that he's in and get him to focus on this tunnel. Otherwise, we'd have to wait for him to yank his head out backwards. So as you can imagine, the tunnel that I am standing in is kind of not really big enough for a Trico. But by golly, he's gonna try anyway. I mean, he is a thick boy.
How many C's?
We've been giving him too many barrels. Let's see. I mean, we've given him, what, 5 barrels? At least 5 C's.
Boy. Boy, you can do it. I believe in you. Kind of.
We have an all barrels category that I affectionately call Chonk %. Because we give him every barrel in the game. Thought about maybe calling it thick percent. So needless to say, that didn't go well. Trico should never have tried to squeeze himself in this tiny little tunnel. He collapsed it. Of course, because the boy is made of who knows what, he's fine. Trico, on the other hand, not doing so great. Trico's had a rough day.
Needs more pets.
I'm trying to think, when's the next time I can give Trico pets? So he'll automatically do a couple things the next few sections. Oh, I know when. Hope those armors woke up. I didn't actually see. Considering I just dropped frames there, I'm going to assume that this worked correctly. All I have to do is put myself in danger, and then Trico's like, I'll help.
Comes to save the day.
He's all about it. The problem with this fight is that he's really bad at it. I don't know why. This particular fight, he's just really bad at. You see, he didn't actually destroy any armors. He's just knocking all of them down. And that's really, really common, and I don't understand it, but it is what it is.
I mean, he did just have a tunnel collapse on him.
That's true. And I am just trying to, like, help him finish this fight, and I simply cannot, because he is just making it even harder. What's that, buddy? Was that like a falcon punch? What are you doing? One way or another, we made it through that fight. Mostly because of the boy, if we're being real, but... I would pet Trico here, except that he's doing a little pre-script right now, where he shouts and gets angry. Because, of course, there's the White Tower. And every time we see it, oh, we've got to borf about it so hard. There you can see two eyeballs in the distance. That's where White Tower skip is going to happen. If you look down at the scaffolding, you'll see that it's basically just a bunch of V's right next to each other. Like that V. We're going to try to get into the V. And then walk diagonally up the plank. Jump straight above us to another plank. And then straight up to the top of this bridge. He's too thick, I tell ya.
Too many barrels.
Oh, I'm like on his head. That's a weird place to be. I'm gonna drop anyway. Yep, I knew it. I knew it. He just like let me drop into the abyss. All right, let's try that again.
Okay, bye.
Like literally no interference. He just like let me drop. Thanks, buddy. Feel appreciated. But I wouldn't have tried to do that if the checkpoint had been further back. You know, it's right here, so. So now I'm on his shoulder thing. Please let me fall onto the platform. Well, yes and no. Okay, so we're on White Tower. Great, we're here. There's those eyeballs. Trico's not going to go through those to get to the White Tower until we get rid of them, because obviously he's a little scaredy chicken thing. So the reason that we need to do this skip at all is because, as you can see, there's a break in the bridge. We can't make the jump, so in order to be on top, we need to go down first. One version of White Tower will have you jumping right here. I'm going to do a little bit of a different one that's a little bit more secure, even if a little bit slower. I developed this one for runners who are just starting and want to add White Tower to their run but aren't confident enough yet to do the early White Tower skip that is much harder. The reason the first one is harder is because getting into the V between these beams is very challenging, but with this version, there's one beam here that doesn't have a V. Like, you could just walk into the V just like this instead of having to jump across. So, that eliminates one part of the puzzle. And, you know, I will just fall, which is fine. I didn't expect to get this on the first try. So I'll head down there again. The purpose of White Tower Skip is to avoid going around the White Tower. You can see kind of over there a little bit that there are, like, platforms. It takes a couple minutes to go around the White Tower, so we definitely have a lot of leeway here as far as making the skip worth it, even if you do fail. That being said, you don't usually have to go all the way back to the beginning. A lot of the time the boy will grab this plank that's down here, so you have a pretty solid backup strat as well. Okay, let's see. It's a little bit camera dependent. Boy, the boy just will not grab that plank. If we have to go around the White Tower, it's fine, but I do want to give this just a couple more tries. And I say again that for a lot of people, this is definitely the hardest part of the run. Like, they would rather do 5 cage puzzles than do this. And at this point, if you want world record contention, you have to do White Tower. Like, there's no choice. You can't go around the back. It takes too long. So let's have another go. And hopefully, if we fail this time, the boy will actually grab this dang plank, so that I don't have to go back to the beginning.
Come on, kid,
the good thing
parkour
is,
master.
Right? You'd think he would just be great at this. Good thing is, he really, you're telling me he didn't grab there? Okay, sure. You make the rules. Anyway, the good thing about this in a marathon is that either way, it's good. Like, either I do White Tower Skip, which I'm gonna try maybe just 1 or 2 more times, and you get to see that, or I go around the back of the White Tower and you get to see that. Either way, you know, you get to see something cool. So, it's not nearly as stressful as it would be during a run when I have to get this on the first try, you know? Or second try, I suppose. Okay, little boy. Would you like to cooperate for once, please? Thank you. So that was White Tower Skip. I don't know why he found that so hard the first 17 times that I did it, but here we are. And so that prevented us from having to go around the back. Now we were able to just do that instead.
Probably several $1,000s worth of stained glass.
Yeah, just chucked off the edge, whatever. That's right. First try. That's right. 0 deaths.
If you die, it's called RNG manipulation.
That's right. I was dying, I was falling so that you could get an idea of like what the bottom of the bridge looked like, and I didn't want you to miss any areas that they had spent time like crafting. Definitely wanted to make sure you saw like the falling animations and stuff. Trico's just really not good at not destroying things, is he? Resetting here is safer and faster than trying to climb Trico and jump off of his face. Get us up onto this ledge, which is why we do that. So yeah, we had a little bit of a series of bad lucks with White Tower. It's pretty uncommon that I ever have to go back to the beginning at all, let alone 3 times, but in the end, we got it, and hopefully that has exhausted our bad luck for the rest of the run. And we'll cash in on some of that luck now, when I need the game to let me land on Trico's face. Thank you, buddy. And then I just landed on his face again. Sure. Trico, could you let me, like, not be on your face, my dude? I love you to death, but...
No, us boobs do.
My chat has officially determined, when I run this on my own channel, that, because we don't know if Trico has a beak or a muzzle, he has a buzzle.
There was a couple seconds there. I was like, Trico's not catching us. That's it. It's over.
I thought that too, actually. I thought that I was a little bit low for him. That's one of the harder ones for him to grab you. There's a little cone, a cone of success in front of his face, and if you don't land directly in it, he won't be able to catch you.
Now on, I'm going to call the area directly in front of my face the cone of success.
Hey, okay, sure. Here you go, buddy. There. Give him some pets.
Yeah.
That was the place that I was planning on petting him because I knew that he did that. It's dangerous to pet him there, though. We actually got lucky because a lot of the time he will demand pets so aggressively that he just eats you out the window. So it's dangerous to actually let him ask for pets there.
Danger pets.
Oh, thank goodness. So, I am going to try to manipulate Trico a little bit to do what I want him to do. He would normally solve this puzzle taking a series of small jumps, but by kind of tricking him into mistaking where I'm asking him to jump, I can actually get him to do a run-up to a giant flying leap across all of these platforms, so that we don't have to spend the time on, like, 4 different jump animations. Also, we were down there earlier. That's where we did the skip across the drawbridge. In as much as you can say that this game is like Dark Souls, if you see it, you can go there. So this world is definitely of that sort.
Well, it's definitely missing the archers that shoot you off the tiny little balconies.
Thankfully, one of my favorite parts about this run is that right after you have to deal with White Tower Skip being very challenging, whether, you know, in a marathon or in a regular, you know, casual run or whatever, buddy. You gotta go, okay? immediately after that is essentially my favorite section of the game, as like a reward for finally getting through White Tower and Cage. So this is my favorite section, starting once Trico touches down. I liked it when I played casually, and I really like it as well as part of the speedrun. Trico's gonna take care of that fight, I'm gonna take care of this eyeball. We each have our tasks. It only needs to go across the halfway mark of the bridge in order to be destroyed, because we're about to drop the bridge, so... There it goes.
Bye, bridge. Watching him climb down that chain hurt my hands.
So here she is. I don't think that she's really gonna let us leave this time. Trico's gonna do his best to protect us, but he's kind of a softie, let's be real.
A softie and also not covered in armor.
That's also true. I remember playing this casually and just being in abject panic the entire time about how to help my boy. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing, stop, no! Alright, that was a good jump. We gotta kind of manipulate the camera a little bit. I don't know why I'm not moving. We have to get past these Tricos. Okay. Beautiful. That's the perfect setup. That's exactly what we want. In doing this, we have skipped an entire very long segment of this fight where I'm supposed to be on the other Trico's head. I was supposed to fall with those Tricos. And I'm supposed to like climb up a chain to get up here while dealing with those two fighting each other. And we've skipped all of that.
Too slow. Gotta save our ferret friend.
So I just dropped a minecart right on her head. She's like, ow, could you not? So her helmet is gone and one of her horns is broken. And that seems to be good enough. She's like, okay, you know what? Forget this. Going home.
Not worth it.
Okay, I see one sphere. That will be important. This is the point in the game where the game checks for how many spears Trico has. If he has too many, the little boy will say, hold on, Trico, I'll pull it out. If he says that, we will not be able to progress until I pull spears out. Surprise! Here's the mirror. Trico ate it when he ate me a long time ago, and then he didn't barf it out. So that's where that went.
Hey, we found it.
I like that it has to remind me what it does, as if I don't remember my giant chicken dog shooting lightning out of his tail. That's something that I could forget, sure. So for the rest of the game, we're gonna have this mirror again. That is a good thing and a bad thing. It lets us solve puzzles, you know. It also is yet another thing that is mapped to the circle button. So the circle button is now pet Trico, use the mirror, pick up helmets, hold on to Trico. It's everything. It's everything. And so you will see a lot of the time that when I'm doing fights or things like that, I'm trying to grab a head off of the suits of armor, and the boy will pull out his mirror or whatever. There's Hold On Trico, I'll pull it out. So we do have too many spears in order to progress. That is why I took note of how many spears Trico had and where they were. He has one that I can pull, so it should be fine. Sometimes the game will say that Trico has too many spears, but there are none that you can reach because he's lying on them. And that is a problem. So you will end up solving this entire puzzle, which takes multiple minutes, and then realize that you don't have any spears to pull. Which is why I always check, before we start this puzzle to make sure that it is solvable. So hopefully that is sufficient, because if it is not, we are in trouble. Because I don't see any more spears. Usually once he says, hold on Trico, I'll pull it out, if you pull out one, it's good. So our buddy needs some snacks. Because who wouldn't, after everything that just happened? In my own splits, I have appropriately named this section, Eat All Your Nom Noms.
Take your medicine and you'll feel better. Mystery Noms. Ecto Cooler. So many good names for this stuff.
A spoonful of Gatorade helps the barrel pieces go down? I mean, it can't be comfy, right? Having chunked up barrels in your belly, but I guess he doesn't really care.
I mean, he ate you whole. He ate the shield for a while.
That's true. So if we are fortunate, and we have now passed the spear check by removing that spear, the game will pan the camera up as soon as he's done eating this. Yeah, it's not a full soft lock. If for some reason you don't have spears to pull and the game wants you to pull, it's just that you have to reload. So it can be frustrating, right? Because you give Trico all 4 barrels and then you find out that it doesn't work, and so you have to do the entire thing again. Which is why, you got to do a little bit of due diligence when you start to make sure that you do actually have spears.
Think of the barrels being a good load of fiber and iron. Yeah, Trico, just eat this wicker swing set real fast. You feel great.
I bet all you would have to do is paint it blue, like the barrels, and then he'd be like, oh yeah, sure, yeah. A reload will guarantee visible spears, yeah.
Nice of them.
Unfortunately, a reload usually guarantees like 4 visible spears, so then you have a lot more work to do.
That's so nice of them.
So early on, when Trico was still lying down in the previous section, things that we were shooting were, number 1, the wall that had the barrels behind it, but also we were shooting 2 suits of armor. You're supposed to do a couple fights as you go up and up and up in here, but since we've already removed the armor, Trico is just going to go all the way to the top without interruption. Likely right here, he is going to look at this platform and be like, I can totally jump to that. Nah, just kidding. And then he'll do like a cute little twirl. And there we go. I don't know why, but he always does. Ready? Spin it around, my dude. There you go. And now he's ready to jump, even though he was totally facing that 5 seconds ago.
Rico goes where he pleases.
This is one of the platforms where we would have had to do a fight. The fight would have been over there, but as you can see, our spear guy doesn't exist anymore because I obliterated him earlier on. Trico is looking absolutely the wrong direction. He will fix it in just a second, but he always does it that way. Help, help, help! Okay, bye, Trico. I guess I'm gonna let myself fall in case it checkpoints. What is that load? Like, seriously, what is this load? Okay. I've never seen that happen. Okay. That is good. I'm glad that I waited for it because we checkpointed at the platform right below where he just jumped to, so we're right here. Hopefully with less shenanigans this time. That it could have lagged because it was trying to load the death zone. Good lord, little boy. Please, please. I do not want to be over here. But, you know, here we are. I've never actually been forced to be over here like this. So let's problem solve, Trico, my friend. I'm gonna need you to face that way. Thank you. Buddy, you're kind of being a little bit of a troll right now. You good? If anything interrupts the beam of light that's coming from the mirror, it will cancel out Trico's shooting. Like Trico doing what he's doing. Which is why we want to be over there instead of over here.
Go, Trico, please. Just one butt laser.
So, yeah, I mean, that happened. I don't know why on earth the game was so determined to make it so that what are you doing? Hey, what? Trico, what are you doing? Buddy! Sort your life out. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. He's literally, like, I've speedrun this game for years, and he has literally never done this.
Just reminding you whose game it is.
Uh-huh. Okay, Cheeks, can we do this? Can we do this now? I cannot, it will not let me off of his head right there. Thank you. Buddy, we got places to be, my man. Don't walk away. Don't leave me. Where are you going? This is the best. Come on, dude. Okay, he's sorted. I think he had a little bit of a midlife crisis. He needed to consider his options. Track.
The name of the game isn't The Last Indestructible Little Boy. I must go, my people need me. Yes.
I was just gonna say, if you're not coming, Trico, I swear. Here he is. We're in another cage. You remember what happened the last 2 times that we were in a cage. Trico is actually able to face his fears. He overcomes the cage and just blows it right to smithereens. So he's getting better. We saw him face his fears with the eyeballs. Now he's facing his fears with the cage. He's getting to be a brave boy. Please stop. And he interrupted the beam, because of course he did. Don't, no. I can't pet you right now, buddy. You're gonna yeet me off a cliff. My dude. Okay, I guess we're just along for the ride. Trico does what Trico wants. And Trico is doing none of the things that would help. He's not even gonna jump. He's literally just gonna stand here for no reason. Buddy! Hey, we got stuff to do, okay? Can you do this at least? Because we need to get rid of this one.
I want to see what's up here.
At least he's doing this one. This by itself is the only one that's strictly necessary right now. If I can get him to do the others, that would be great, but I'm making a blind aim here. Based on the screen shake, I think we got that one. Yeah, I can see the debris. Right, he's being a little jitterbug here, so... We did actually get that one. Way to go, dude. I'll get the other ones later. Where are you going? What you thinking, my man? Because that is the opposite of where we need to go. There you go. So yeah, that's one of the worst places for him to ask for pets. Because he just pushes you straight off the edge. And then of course you fall and you look back up into his face and he's got these big, beautiful eyes just looking at you like, where are you going? I love
Bye,
you.
human. Pets or else.
So in the ideal speedrun, right, we get those 2 eyeballs as well. It's not a big deal that we didn't, because we'll have a second opportunity to get them, and we will also destroy a couple of armors anyway, so we will already be using the mirror during that time. So that's fine. It's just... Good boy for the first, like, 3/4 of the run, and now that we're in the end game, he just really wants to show off just how much of a memer he can be.
I also see that we upgraded from lightning bolt to artillery blasts.
We did. So Trico's horns are fully healed. We saw during the cutscene that the tip of his tail got blasted off. So for as long as his tail was healing, we were getting lightning bolts. But now that his tail is healed, we get plasma gun, I guess.
There it is. There's the evolution.
That's the problem. Trico evolved, and we had to make him forget a move so he could learn plasma cannon. And apparently we made him forget common sense.
Do we not have enough badges? We need more badges.
Hey buddy, I'm gonna need some assistance. Camera. Stop. What a troll. This is the camera, this is not Trico. Thanks, buddy.
I'm gonna take some quick notes on how to make my cat's tail fire plasma gun.
So up here we've got 2 armors that are hanging out on these scaffoldings. In order to avoid fighting them later, I'm going to shoot them now. Beautiful. Alright, now, as long as we don't fall, which is apparently easier said than done, all of this will checkpoint and we'll be good to go. the checkpoint in this section, as I recently learned, is very unforgiving. So if we fall before quite a ways from now, eyeballs and the armors will be back. So we need to be careful.
Oh no. Alright, I gotta get a mythical barf mirror shield, and my cat needs to regrown her horns. Alright. Oh, mystery goop. Mystery goop.
This is a very scary bit of platforming. I don't appreciate that the camera was trying to make me look at Trico at that particular moment. But if we die here, we'll have to go back and do the mirrors again. So let's... How about we don't? Particular section of the game, because of the pink sky, is so good. So good. Bye! He always does that. We are, I will show you in just a moment, on the way to the White Tower. It's going to be kind of directly in front of us. I will be sure to give Trico one more set of pets when I next have the opportunity, which is going to be very shortly. But the White Tower is over there. In the interest of not just showing you a full screen picture of Trico's butthole, I am not going to go look for it. But it's over there. So we're almost at the White Tower again. Unfortunately, Trico did break the bridge last time, as you recall. And so we're going to need to find a different way to get to the White Tower. And that is what we're currently working on. We are going to try to build a separate bridge. Hey, buddy. Calm it down, okay? One more pets. One more pets before the end of the run.
Yeah.
Just real quick. Can you sit... Whoops. See? Everything's the circle button. Can you sit down, buddy? Sit down, my man. Oh, he's got different ideas. He's got different ideas. Who wants to solve this puzzle? I suppose I am not going to complain.
He's like, excuse me, White Tower. We've been trying to go there this whole time. Let's go.
Suddenly he's not really interested in pets. He is interested in doing what he's supposed to do. But then when I stop petting him, he's like, you know, actually I changed my mind. Hey, dude. You were just in the middle of being a glorious beastie. Can you finish that thought process? What are you so sad about? Him to lie down again and do a big ol' yawn, but so this is where the armors would have been if we had not exploded them, but we have preemptively exploded their platforms. The Trico can go across here without getting angry and without having to, you know, get into a fight. What am I looking at? Okay. Yeah, the lighting on his eyes in this section is just lovely.
We spent most of the
give him a
game
little pet
either in the
there,
dark
just
or
to,
in super bright. We
yeah.
gotta flex that sunset.
Yeah, it's like this perfect mixture of lighting. It's really lovely. Gave Trico one more pet, not only so that we could just have more Trico pets, but because I wanted to make sure that the boy didn't come flying off of his face. And let us be clear, just because the boy pets Trico doesn't mean that he's not going to come flying off of Trico's face. It just reduces the chances. In the end, it's still down to whether the game wants to, you know, give you credit for the grab. Look at his eyes. Oh, hi, buddy. You are handsome. Has anybody ever told you that? No, not the railing. Dingbat. Trico, are you actually going to do a thing, or am I just having a little bit too much confidence in you?
I think we need chat to encourage Trico into being a good boy for the rest of the run. So chat, lay out your good boys now for Trico. He deserves it. He's done such a good job up until now.
He's getting a little tired. I think he needs a little bit of encouragement. Because he's been getting a little bit trolly over these last 20 minutes or so. I very much just want to use the mirror instead of petting Trico, even though I love him dearly. Please. Calm it down, Trix. Thank you. Obviously, shooting anything with Trico's tail while you're on Trico is much harder than otherwise. And there's the White Tower. We are very close to the top. We've got some lovely sunbeams. And now we can begin building this bridge. The entire reason we've done everything that we're doing so far is to get up high enough to start building this bridge to get us to the White Tower. We still don't quite know why we want to get to the White Tower, except that Trico's super into it. And I think that at this point, the boy realizes, like, hey, the White Tower is kind of the highest thing around here. Maybe if we can get Trico to it, he can fly us out. Because Trico's not really very good at flying, as you can see. He's more of a glider. More of an incompetent glider at that.
Falling with style.
Yes. So if Trico is feeling particularly trolly, he will grab me out of the air here and then just deposit me off of the cliff. Thankfully, he didn't do that. Because again, it's just another instance of Trico wanting to be really helpful, and so he grabs you out of the air. Like, oh, you're falling, I'll catch you. And then he just tries to put you on the ground, but there's no ground. And so he just drops you. You like to run games with characters that glide? I will admit that when I was in, like, first grade, I kind of thought that I would be the person to invent flappy wings that humans could fly with. My first grade brain thought surely nobody had ever tried to do that before.
I would have been your first customer, even now.
Then again, first grade me also thought that the process of acquiring the knowledge to do so literally just involved getting a bunch of books that were way too complicated for me and just staring at them. So I didn't make it very far.
I mean, that's a start. You got the right idea. Here's the question: do you do Knuckles in Knuckle runs in Sonic games?
Now that, well, okay, so Tails was always my favorite buddy because he could fly, right? Spins his tails around and then he flies.
Can never get
I don't
past.
really have audio right now, but if you can hear music, we are golden. trust you, Trico. Thank you. Oops, always. So here we are, finally at White Tower. And this begins some of the hardest stuff, execution-wise, in the run. We have a very big fight here. This is a multiple phase fight. Lots of enemies. Lots of stuff that I need to keep in mind. Trico's gonna step in front of the beam if I don't move it. So I needed to change my trajectory there. You can see he's kind of interrupting it a little bit. This is very much a section where we don't want Trico to be pacifist because there are a lot of enemies, and I need him to take care of them instead of, you know, just putzing around. But I am going to go down here for a very specific purpose, and I'm going to trust Trico to finish that fight up there on his own, because as soon as he finishes all of the armors up there, this door is going to open. And I need to be right here to stop bad things from happening, basically. So this will open as soon as he's done, which it will be eventually. He can handle it. So that guy had a shield, and I specifically waited to shoot him in the face with the mirror, because then he's like, whoa, whoa, there's a human, what? I gotta put down my mirror in order to, or my shield, in order to grab the human. And so he drops his shield, but he drops it inside the blue door, so that he then can't go and retrieve it. Sit down, buddy-o. Bye!
Wait, did you just melt the bottom half of that armor guy?
Yes, so when armor gets close to the shield that I'm carrying, the mirror that I'm carrying, good job, Trico. It subdues them. It has power over them, and it makes them melt into the ground. It can get back up if you spend enough time without shining the mirror at them, but... Buddy, I really appreciate your twirls. They're very elegant, but I'm gonna need you to just smack that guy. Thank you. Whoa. So since I am not currently playing with game audio, if chat would let me know if the fight music is still continuing, that would be very helpful. Or else we're gonna have to do this fight again. If everything's quieted down, we should be fine. But the skip will not work if armor is still alive. Thanks, everybody. I just certainly do not want to have to do that fight on the front of the White Tower again. But there will be an invisible barrier here that prevents me from doing this. No, little boy. Get through there. If the fight is not over, so we definitely need to make sure it's over. You're supposed to wait for Trico to sit down and then, you know, drag his tail through a hole and climb down his tail. But he's got time for that. So these guys are blocking control panels that will turn on a giant circular door that is above Trico. I need to wake these guys up and activate the panels behind them by putting heads on them. If we are very lucky, and the RNG is in our favor, I will explode these guys. 2 of their heads will go in opposite directions and land on the 2 suits of armor that didn't have heads. Whether that happens, you know, is up to chance. It's up to how the game determines what happened with the physics. But at least one of them woke up. I saw the green light that indicated that one of them woke up, so. And if there's only one left, that's also fine. We'll just... Oh, yep, there's all three. So this was kind of the ideal situation. So one by one, we're going to activate the pieces of that door, and it will open once I've turned all these on. Oh, this guy's still alive. That's okay. Hey, buddy. Yoink. If he had been in a little bit more opportune spot, if he had been in one of the later ones of these that I had to turn on, I would have honestly just left him for last, put his helmet on, lured him away from the door, and then melted him down into the ground and used the light from the mirror to turn the thing on. If you're careful and accurate, you can do that, but he was kind of in a weird spot, so...
Okay, is it bad that I think that when you shrink them with the shield mirror thing, that it's really cute?
They're adorable, aren't they?
They're so cute.
Bless you, Trico. I love that reset because it's like a straight up teleport. You don't have to climb up Trico's tail because the checkpoint just happens to be once you're already up here.
Trico boarding.
We are very near the end of the game. Of course, we still have cutscenes because we made that incentive. The cutscenes are certainly worth watching because timing ends long before you find out what happens. But first, we have to deal with the biggest fight in the game, which happens right here. 3 phases, 2 levels, bottom and top. People with mirror shield things. Guys, Trico gets pretty confused pretty easily. So we will, we'll see how this goes. Nope, sit down. This is not a room that I particularly want to be grabbed in. Sometimes it's fine for me to be grabbed, but you can see the entire outside of the room is just doors. So, I'd really rather not be grabbed because I'm always very close to a door. Where's the other... Did that guy explode? I see pieces of a dude up there. I mean, I'm not gonna complain if the guy on the terrace is gone.
I think...
No! Oh, he's coming back out. That's too bad. I thought that I had just permanently yeeted him into the nether.
Trico, I need you to do your best Alucard impression.
Way through, buddy. Okay. Uh-oh, that's bad. It'll be okay. That's just not really great because it's nice on the one hand because Trico's grab when he like picks them up in his mouth is an insta-kill. It's guaranteed to kill them. But on the other hand, I was picked up at the same time and he was kind of committed to that animation, so... Alright, that guy had a shield that I got him to drop by virtue of being close to him. And I knew where the other guy was going to spawn, so I stopped him from grabbing his shield. We should now be done with the enemies that are using shields. And we've just got to finish the fight. These guys are very quick to get up, though. They're not making it easy to pull their heads off. Hey, no, no. No, you don't. No, no. You put that back where you found it. Stop. I can't hit him. Stop. Now, getting caught there, I'm fine with, except for the fact that Trico nearly knocked me through the floor. Because, you know, that encouraged Trico to come over. And nobody was around to. Oh, I intercepted that guy in midair with the shield. Buddy, I'm gonna need a little bit more help than that. Thanks, dude. I don't know why it's not giving me credit for being free, but sure. I really don't like where he's standing, though. He needs to be... Okay, that's fine, though. Well, he just hopped back. Buddy, is this what we're gonna do? Thank you, my man. Thank you. Good guy. He was standing directly in the middle, and if this thing comes down on him or any part of him, it'll go back up to the ceiling. So he was very kind that he jumped out of the way at the last minute.
Human, where go? Human, I come.
So we're almost there. Almost there, just a couple more minutes before time will be called. And then, of course, we have the cutscenes. We are gonna, even with the cutscenes, we're gonna finish well ahead of our estimate, but... for y'all to see the cutscenes, they're so worth it. So we are now kind of at the top, almost, of White Tower, but from the inside. We're in this little sanctum that is made up of this orb in the middle and a bunch of pillars that are holding it to the wall. Oh, Trico, don't move your head like that, dude. Alright, so I'm gonna use a little bit of a riskier strat while Trico's turning his head and turning his body and nearly mincing me up on this fan that's above me. I am gonna make this jump instead of waiting for him to take one more jump himself and then jumping much more safely from his back. So here's where things get real something. So this Master of the Valley character, yeah, he's some sort of spooky something, right? And this mirror has power over him. So if I shine this mirror, it removes his shield around him little by little. If I put it all the way inside of him so that it vanishes, he'll fight back and he'll shoot it back out real fast. And if the boy gets caught in this, it's an automatic death and you have to try again. So the boy does not want to be touched by whatever reactive goo is around the master. But if we shrink it only most of the way, it comes back out slowly, which is the solution. And we were able to climb this before he caught up with me. So thank goodness we're out of the master's hair for right now. But all of this blue glowing power, right, that we have seen throughout the entire game appears to be coming from the master. He seems to be powering everything. And Trico is down underneath this fan where we left him, and he needs some assistance to get out, so I'm going to stop the fan to give him some space to jump between the blades. Now, in one last ditch effort to get this to happen, I am going to intentionally go a little bit slow. And I'm going to not necessarily look at Trico, I'm going to look down. Nah, it didn't quite work. I was really, for the duration of this run, trying to get Trico to poop because it's really cute. But it's definitely just a chance thing, so...
Wait,
I haven't
what?
gotten poop in a speedrun for a long time. Yeah, there's actually a trophy for getting Trico to poop. His poops look like little jello balls, and they're like squishy and jiggly, and they're really adorable. And you can pick them up and throw them around.
It's a new category, poop percent.
Once we have a category extension board, that is legitimately going to be a category.
If there's
Right
a
now,
poop percent
though-
category, I'll run this game.
For right now, though, we don't actually know for sure what causes Trico to poop. Like, we can't get him to poop on command. We'll do it when he's on a flat location, when you're not looking at him. That's what we know.
Suggestions? Taco Bell? White Castle?
There's way more than just the one Trico that we dealt with before, the one that we dropped the minecart on. Oh. It can be a little confusing at the end because there's like tiny little bits of gameplay still interspersed with pretty long cutscenes, so.
Dun, 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 dun.
So our Trico isn't the only Trico who noms people. That might be a suggestion about what is in the barrels that we have been feeding our best boy. Some people think that it is, you know, actually people. Some people think that it's not. It's some other material that they just get as a reward for bringing people to that thing. I think that the master is taking the stuff that he needs from those people and giving the Tricos everything else. But that's just kind of my opinion. You also see that all the other Tricos' horns are glowing. They're all, you know, kind of resonating with the master as he's calling them back, and our Trico's horns are not glowing. He is no longer controlled by the master. So I'm going to reset here not only to fix my broken leg, but also to give myself a straight shot at running for the mirror, which got flung off of my arm when all of these Tricos attacked. Yeah, did you know that's how it works? If you break your leg, you can just reset and then you don't have to go to the doctor. Call that a little life hack.
Oh. We made it this far and then you dropped the buttons.
So we're He can't reach me, so he's kind of trying to knock me off so that he can pick me up again with his mouth and probably launch me for real. So I'm just going to stay exactly where I am, where he can't reach me. Not only because he can't reach me, but because this provides a pretty solid launching place for when he does eventually land. He will land eventually, I promise. He's almost there. That is the longest cutscene in the world when you are really close on pace for world record. Like, you're like, oh, it's never taken this long before. He just regrew the tip of his tail, and here it goes again.
Good news, much like Lizard, it can grow back.
Yes, he can grow it back. So the Master is the one causing all of this, right? We need to go and deal with the Master if we're gonna stop all of these Tricos from attacking our Trico. Thankfully, that one Trico threw our Trico's tail into the same enclosure that the Master is in. So I'm sure you can see where this is going. And timing will actually stop when the Master is hit. I will call time though, because it's not necessarily the first time that you hit him that actually counts. He'll kind of like warp out. Or we might just break his cage. But timing will stop here in a couple seconds, I'll let you know. No. Stop grabbing the tail. This is why everything being on the circle button is kind of frustrating. Okay, so timing should stop the next time that the Master gets hit. Yep, time. So now we get cutscenes, because we've got the incentive.
GG.
Thank you. The ending is obviously definitely worth staying for. I always suggest, you know, the option to play cutscenes. So the Master's destroyed, right? I did that. And now all these other Tricos that were mind-controlled by him are not doing so good.
Yeah, they just forgot how to fly, like that's it. Alright, I guess. Nap time.
And as you can see, our Trico is still hanging on. He's here. He's not doing great, but he's here. He doesn't have a pool to drown me in this time.
Fin snack. one of the few times where I guess it kind of makes sense that it was a load-bearing boss.
Poor Trico missing the end of his tail again.
I know you're not looking so good, buddy, but we gotta go. Yeah, well, maybe if you were nice to us, you could have came with us, but no.
So we made it, right? To the side, out of the valley, finally. It was our entire goal for the entire time. So Trico was right. You know, the White Tower was the best way to get out. Homage.
Alright, you be safe in here. I got you.
Can you hear my dog in the background just ripping up the carpet during this emotional sequence?
Concerned.
Yeah, if he actually lost the number of feathers that he loses when he flies, he would be bald. They love that, like, feather animation, like all of the feathers coming off. They do it with leaves too a lot. So, I mean, he barfed us up again. But this time, unlike all the other times, there weren't really barrel pieces, there weren't really, like, remains of the goo that's inside the barrels, and you can see a little bit that he's smoking from his nose. Like, he really has nothing left, but he made sure that we got home. And this is the final input of the game. He will literally stay here and let these people throw spears at him until I tell him to go. I, as the player, have to say, Trico, go away.
how small that clearing was? You did not clear that tree line on the
ほら
first
ゲ
jump.
ニュークーキー言えでキャマソンなおや死ぬぜ
No, there's a little bit more. Don't leave yet.
アゴチアジュクイアティスネキャ
So the
タ
next thing that's going to happen is the credits are going to play. We're actually not going to watch the credits, even though, you know, we did the cutscene incentive because they're literally just credits. So we got one more cutscene to watch.
Okay, bye credits.
It is my favorite cutscene. The one in the second cage was my second favorite. This is definitely my favorite cutscene. I think they just did a great job achieving what they were trying to achieve. Why is this taking so long to load? There we go. So the game is trying to trick you, right? This is the title screen. It's trying to trick you into thinking that there's nothing left. It's trying to trick you into thinking that you're at the title screen. And so you either hit the start button again to skip this, or you just turn off the game because you think that you're done. And in fact, there is actually one kind of secret cutscene left. But we gotta wait for it to fully merge back into the title screen. And then the camera will start to pan out, and now we've got this final scene that I love just so much.
Wilde net die kastiem agdi. Oh, wilde net. Arto. No, it's never really explained why Trico is afraid of them. I think you're just
I can, yeah. Yeah, I think we lost Sable. Yes, symbolic pause represents the game's lengthy dev cycle. We'll go with that one. All right, cool. I'm gonna take this chance to fill in a little bit of time for you guys. I know we're in the middle of a really beautiful cutscene, and I probably can't make up for it, but I'll do my best. You voiceover man, yeah. I say go for it. Listen, I'm emotionally invested right now. I'm down for watching anything for the end of that cutscene. I didn't know it existed until today. Yes, the good news, at least the run was complete. But all right, so while we bring you up the like the fountain of Blade Runner, I'll never know. As we bring up the final secret hidden cutscene, uh, if you guys love what we're doing and you want to hang out with us more, come join the Discord, and we appreciate all y'all for hanging out with us tonight. It is for me at least 5 a.m. So thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for donating. We're up past $13,000 on the week, and that's amazing. We're supporting Take This. And if you don't know, Take This is a mental health nonprofit, and the main mission is to inform the gaming community about mental health issues, provide education on different disorders, and prevention techniques, and reduce the overall stigma around mental illness. If you want to get a little more information, please visit takethis.org. It's cool. Near flaw. The game was perfect. The run was doing great. Trico wasn't that much of a troll, and then one last minute. Yes. So up next, we do have. I'm gonna try this again. I'll see if I can get it right this time too. Pingu Sekai de Ichiban Genki na Penguin. Bonus, and we still have a goal for that. The bonus penguin dance party at only 10 out of 250. Donate responsibly, but donate towards that incentive because I want a bonus penguin dance party. Sable's kind of back.
Am I here? Do I exist?
Here.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The internet just like completely just poofed. And it wasn't even like available to reconnect. Oh, I can't believe you missed the best part of the final cutscene. Wait,
Literally
really? You can
everyone's
do
begging
that?
for it. So
Yes, do that, please. We were literally like 20 seconds, if that, from the end of the cutscene. I thought that the dog had unplugged the router. Was my first. Thanks everyone for hanging in there.
Bryce, I thought you were being a bad boy. I'm sorry I ever doubted you.
Hey, my OBS is back online. Nice. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Sorry for the hassle. Hey, I finished ahead of estimate, so I mean, we got a little bit of time. But thanks. In the meantime, while they're cropping that so that you don't miss the cutscenes, thank you so much, everybody, for donating. Not only for the cutscenes, but throughout the entire marathon. I mean, 13,000 is an insane amount of money. You're so close to the 15,000, and we've still got a lot of time left. The next run up, I do believe, is Pingu, which I'm super hyped about, and I think that there is a donation goal for that as well. I'm not sure if it's been reached yet.
Not yet. We're pretty far away, but please, 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 bonus penguin dance party. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want a penguin dance party? Come on.
All right.
But-
I also have to throw in this bid war.
Sure.
Which Valkyrie has to learn Alf? Currently winning is Natara. Sorry. But get in there and make somebody learn Alf, or make it like a 4-way tie, because that would be even better.
Right? The run went, like, I'm not joking when I say that at the beginning of the run, for a significant amount of time, we were on world record pace, despite even, like, stopping to pet Trico and stopping to show off, like, extra strats and stuff. It was a really good run. Trico mostly wasn't a troll. And then literally 20 seconds before it would have been okay to cut the stream, my internet was just like, you know what? I think I'm done.
I've been having internet problems for like 3 to 4 days now, and finally today I got it all solved. So when all of a sudden everything just cut out, I was like, is it me? Am I the one?
Beautiful. Yeah. For sure, for sure.
In case you missed everything up to this point, Trico saved the day, and we're back home.
Yep. We're back home. We are now, the little boy is now grown up. He's like the village elder. He finally found his shield mirror thing from back when he and Trico were buddies. And he's sending out the light from the mirror one more time.
He was just sitting in the dirt. How did he miss it?
I appreciate that The Last Guardian as a whole is a pretty memey run because you're running with an AI, but in the end, the true memes were actually nothing to do with the run itself, and yet it still managed to be memey. Sure, sure. Y'all are awesome for bringing up this cutscene. Thank you.
I was staring so intently at the stream, like, oh, wait a minute, I'm live too. Hold on.
So obviously, you know, it's playing nice music and doing all this, and this is the first part of the game that we played with Trico. We were solving puzzles with him. You know, this is the first time that we used his tail to break the wall, his lightning tail. And then where we so rudely were cut off by my internet, we finally get to the part where, you know, we re-enter this first room. This is where we started the game. And then, you know, we get a little surprise. And unfortunately, because I'm not like the one doing it, you can make Trico's horns light up during this little cutscene. But there is our Trico, whose horns we can make light up, and there is a little baby Trico, off to the left. So maybe not as bad of an ending as you might have suspected.
I feel better now.
And I see that the YouTube account earned one of the speedrun trophies. Yeah, no, that's just it. It's just the end. So that's the end of the run. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm not going to take any more of your time because that cut a little bit into the time that we could have pulled ahead. So thank you for having me. I hope you enjoyed The Last Guardian. And don't forget to donate to Pingu that's coming up next and the rest of the donation incentives because hitting 15 would be amazing. Have a good day, everybody.
I will keep mine just as short. What Sable said. Thanks for coming out, guys. I really appreciate it.